Well, hello, good morning, or afternoon, or evening, depending where you are on the planet. It's Trucking Answers, and it's Monday. Welcome back. It's 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time on a sunny day here in Lafayette, Indiana. Hey, I'm vindicated, and I feel so good. FMCSA is going to study driver pay. Isn't that great? January 22nd is actually the border crossing deadline. You're going to be able to drive intrastate in New York. Did you know you couldn't do that if you're between 18 and 20? I didn't realize there was a state left. New York just passed a law that's going to allow people under 21 to get a CDL. Last state to do that. You're going to order a new truck. Expect a 14.6 month wait, and we have other numbers to go over as well. So let's see what's happening out there. All right. Where are we doing here? Let's see. The other day, Chicken Hauler was first. Ooh, followed closely by Joan Harper. So close. So close. Mark Ely is here today. Hello there, Christy. Welcome. Joan Harper, I see you're still here today. George H.W. Bush. I do spend too much time at the manhole, but you know what? You go where you're loved. So that's where I am. Trucker Hershey, what's going on? Sugar, you're going to need that sugar out there. Always got, Wyoming has always got Green River, right? You'd pick up the Arm & Hammer or whatever out there. Baking soda. That was always good. So that's pretty good. Good morning from Cheyenne, Kelly. Everybody's in Wyoming today. Why is that? Vampirist Heidi Ho from South Carolina. Probably warmer there, although not bad. 36 and sunny here today. Was in the 20s earlier. Traffic and weather every 10 minutes on the threes. Eddie McFadden, hello. Hello there. Good morning and afternoon. Trucking safely and happily and profitably. George Wilson. All those things, hopefully. The wind in Wyoming is great. That's why we need this sugar load that Trucker Hershey has to roll along out there. Midnight Trucker Tom Bell, it is time to roll. It is time to get going. Let's get this thing on the road. Good morning from NorCal. Hey, Matthew, what's happening? Hey, from Mo, Daniel. Daniel, what's going on? Brian Pelkey, good morning. Hey, good morning out there. When are we setting up our authority? Yeah, getting the paperwork together. January 1st, we want to do that so we don't have to file anything for a while. So, yeah, we'll get that January 1st, I think. Happy Roller Wiener Monday. Still serving the other day at the manhole. Oh, yeah, that's true. Oh, this, especially on a holiday weekend. Boy, the stuffing they had there, something. Yeah, so John J. Howdy. Yeah, just kidding. Hey, no, well, we get the paperwork ready. Today's Cyber Monday. All internet wieners are 30% off. Yes, rolled are at the same price. They'll send them to your house and just leave them outside your door and not knock. It's time for another bug hunt. I'm always ready for a good bug hunt. I'll tell you, I wish. Paladin, I can tell you what their study is going to find. It's a matter of supply and demand. Now they can save time. Well, Matthew, what they said they're going to study is, okay, so how should drivers be paid? Is the current pay system encouraging or discouraging safety? And would other pay systems be more or less likely to bring safety to the trucking industry and more or less likely to bring more drivers in? That's what they said. It's going to be a 1-year study, at which time they will then get a few more months to prepare the documents and everything and present it. So that's what it's going to be. It's going to take them a year. Super duper delicious roller wiener day. Of course, Fast Joe, every day is a great day for that. 66 in Arizona. Okay, you're banned for that. 66 degrees. I won't see that again until next year. Traveling Rider, hello. Getting loaded in Chicago area. Did I get your email? I did. Thank you very much for that. It's Mr. Plow. Hey, what's going on? Where are you going out of Chicago, by the way, Traveling Rider? How do you bake soda? I have no idea. I'm not Julia Child. In Missouri, heading back to Newcastle. What do they bring back to Newcastle from Mo? What possibly can? Oh, mustard. Rankaiser Banquet Rankaiser. That place out there. That's a place I always remember. Or the caves, of course. Caverns in Missouri. Otherwise, I wouldn't know what comes back over. I guess we could use everything. I feel vindicated, and I'm so happy about it. I have to start with that. So a few weeks ago, we talked about the fact that some trucking companies want you to tell them every time you go see a doctor on your own for whatever reason that you have to tell them. Boom. And I said, no way to that. You can't do that. And a number of people wrote to me and said, oh, yeah, my company does that too. Well, I thought, I don't think so. So I looked it up, and sure enough, I'm right. PAM, of all places, what a surprise, got sued for that. for that very thing. They required people to give them their medical information, whether or not it had anything to do with anything. If you saw a doctor, you had to tell PAM. And if they found out you saw a doctor and you didn't tell them, they fired you. Well, somebody reported them to the government. Guess what the government said? No. The PAM actually said, we're going to continue doing this. The government sued them, the EEOC, and PAM lost. They had to rehire the drivers, pay them back wages, compensatory damages, and punitive damages to the government, and promise that they will not require this in the future. And the EEOC actually came out with a statement that said, dear companies, and this was not just trucking companies, but all companies, you cannot require people to disclose any medical information unless it directly affects their job, period. And they actually said, let this be a message to all other companies that you cannot make people disclose things unless it directly impacts their job. So if you go into the doctor to get, a hangnail or something taken care of, you don't have to tell your company according to that lawsuit, all right? So there you go. That private medical information is just that, it's private. And I knew companies can't make you disclose every time you see a doctor. There's no way. No way. What if you went to see a psychiatrist for something? What if you went to see, an oncologist for some kind of cancer treatment? They might want to fire you for something that doesn't impact your job, but they think, in the future this might cost us money. So no. EEOC says no thanks. PAM, of course, PAM. They must just they have an office at the courthouse. They're down there so often for stuff, and it was PAM, and they completely lost that. And I feel vindicated about that. I thought, there's no way. Traveling riders headed to Kansas to put the truck in the shop. What the heck? Really? We're going to put the truck in there? What is going on? Your truck's in the shop more often than mine. They ought to just give you a different truck. PAM, a special place with my lawyer. Yeah, look, PAM has an office at the courthouse where I assume they just fax stuff to them right there. The court just sends it right over to them to save time, so they don't have to go serve them over at their offices. They just have somebody that just stands there every day and gets handed papers probably every 12 minutes. Are you with PAM? Yes. Here. Are you with PAM? Yes. And they just get served all day long. That's how I assume it works with PAM Transport. I mean, come on. They are forever in for one thing or another, either way. But this one, they had to pay everybody, and they had to pay the government punitive damages for doing this because it's always been against the EEOC policy, especially with medical care. A company, no matter really what it is, according to that lawsuit, can't just ask you, hey, no matter if you go to the doctor, you have to tell us. That's not how it works. That's not how that kind of stuff works. Super happy. Chris, I would have told those perverts you can't force me to give up medical info unless I want to. Listen, you perverts. What do you want my medical information for? I don't know if they're perverts about it, but I will say this, that they can't just say a flat, if you go see a doctor for any reason, you have to tell us. It's not what the EEOC said. And the government said that if it doesn't impact your work, you don't have to tell your work about it. It's none of their business. So that has always bothered me about work insurance. Do they are they notified somehow through your insurance? But apparently not. Here, they were just demanding that the drivers basically tell them, and they can't. Simply that they can't. Another thing that they lost for. This one they didn't settle. They lost this case. What if you got somebody at the manhole? As long as you're at work Monday morning, it doesn't make any difference. Although it may impact you being able to sit for long periods. One time the government proved useful. Exactly. Every once in a while, the government is on your side. For stuff like this, the medical privacy information and all that, they were all about that one, and I'm glad of it, right? They can't just say, hey, no matter what, just going to tell us no. And anytime PAM loses a lawsuit, an angel gets their wings. I always answer inappropriate questions with a bold-faced lie. Mr. Summer, well, the problem was if you answered that at PAM right the wrong way, they fired people. That's the thing about it. So they were firing people, and you can't do that. Hey, give me your medical information or you're fired. That's certainly not how it works. But your local sports arena can ask you for a Vax card. Well, but Slim Shady, as Bill Handel on the Law, one of my other favorite podcasts that everyone should listen to. Handel on the Law, he's an attorney in California. A Broadcasting Hall of Fame, he's been on forever. Like he says with that, what he suggests is you don't have to give it to them, and then you don't go in. He said that, so for a private place like that where they ask you, you don't have to say, here it is. You don't have to show them your medical information. You can say, I'm not going to give you any medical information. And so that's how that would work, at least according to Bill Handel on the law. Good morning, Mark. I always forgot when it's Monday. Kevin, I feel you, especially after this weekend. Boy, it's that many days off. Who wants to go back to work? I lost my medical records in an unfortunate boating accident. See, the thing is, if you didn't give it to them, they were firing people. So that's the problem there. They go, well, you're fired, and that's not going to happen. Traveling right, it was a NOx sensor before. Don't know if that's how it's spelled, but it's an exhaust sensor. Oh, the NOx sensor, NOx sensor. Went out last week, and I think it's the same thing. Love to get different truck, but big fat no. Yeah, I mean, tell it. Well, look, I don't know. Put the screws to them and say, look, I can't sit here unless they're paying you, right? Which I don't personally remember. If they're paying you a full day's pay, okay. But otherwise, say, look, I'm not here to sit here while you fix your junky equipment. You know, give me another truck, or I'm gonna have to go somewhere that at least has a truck that runs, that kind of thing. Fired for Pam. Well, yeah, that might be the better thing, that these drivers probably would have dodged a bullet if they'd have just left and gone somewhere else. And actually, if you got grazed by that bullet, Pam would want you to report it on your medical records there. Picking up Boar's Head Italian meat here in Missouri. Oh, nice. Boar's Head Italian meat. But open and public, it's a different situation versus non-public. Slim Shady. Yeah, that would seem like it. That's all I'm telling you. The handle on the law says. Everybody should download the podcast, right? That any place that asks you, you don't have to give it to them. You can say no to them. I'm not giving you my information. Pam spelled backwards spells map. Okay? We can map ourselves right to a better place. They say there's a trucker shortage, Joe, but all the brokers this morning are saying no more to move the load. My rate is too high. Really? Oh, I thought there's a big shortage. There's a shortage. Rates would keep going $10, $12 a mile. Right now, I got rates. Average rates, I actually looked that up today. Flats, $307. Refrigerated, $314. And van, $292. That's the national average per mile today, right today. So, I don't know if that's good. That seems not bad. If you own a truck, I think you can make money at that. It doesn't, right. You don't comply anyways. You don't have to. You say, look, I'm not going to comply. I hear you. Considering the shortage, the Canadian Trucking Association is trying to hire Gen Zs and millennials. So if there's any of you out there in that age bracket and live in Canada, they would like to hire you for these green jobs. Trucking is green, dynamic jobs. You'll be doing life-saving work, and you'll have a great work-life balance. That's what they want people to know, and they're going to have a big ad campaign about it. So that was pretty good. Traveling right, I was voluntary quit from PAN after my trainer got me into a wreck. Nice. VQ you. Hey, we're just going to volunteer. That place, I'm sorry you had to go there. Believe me. Hey, Steel Horse, what's going on? It's good to see you. I'm back to work over there, I hope. Oh, I count the minutes. Good. If they pay you, then, I would be all right with it then. Was the trainer driving or you? Yeah, that's a good question. All someone has to say is Boar's Head and I get hungry. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, is this like a high security load? This is like Similac, this stuff. I can't imagine a whole load of it. You're going to have to 12 padlock the truck. How much is that going to be? The trainer was asleep, and the best question ever, right? How do they train you while they are sleeping? Yes. As we know, there are some companies, like PAM, that believe training should be done while the trainer is asleep. They might as well do it by just having a camera on you, and the trainer could be at home, perhaps. I think it would do just as much good. Do you think you should provide a company with your DAC report? Well, they get it from you. Shouldn't they be doing this themselves? Yeah, they get it. Well, it's free. I mean, you can get a free copy, but yeah, shouldn't they get it? Why don't they get it? It takes them 2 seconds to get it. So, and most companies, I got to believe, are signed up with DAC for where they can just pull them automatically, at least any larger company. But otherwise, you can get a free copy right in front of them. If a company wanted it and it was a good place you want to work there, you can just pull it up free. So, oh, bummer. Hey, Mark, can I have my favorite bottle back that I left in the truck? I have my name on it. Your name is Brisk. Oh, my gosh. When I felt that bottle, I thought, oh, no. I mean, and that's the thing. Shouldn't a company maybe go through and clean the truck out a little bit before they hand it out to somebody? It's a industry-wide thing. Truckers are too short. We need taller truckers. We do? That's what I asked. Yeah, that's right. What do they say about that? Team driving is a training. Better companies don't team train, as they call it at these places. team driving. If a place is doing this team training, they're just doing it to save themselves money because they're paying the trainer, the trainee, presumably less money, considerably less money. It's all of our favorite companies that do this. Once you get out of the cesspool at the bottom and start floating up towards the top, all that kind of stuff pretty much ends, I think, in trucking, so we can get to what's decent, a better place where the trainer's actually awake. Hey, here's what you're doing wrong, and here's what you're doing right. I think that makes it to be a little bit better training. See, I would ask Pam, why are the trainers at the truck school awake? Why are Driver Solution at C1 or whatever? Why are they up? Why aren't they sleeping too? They should just send everybody out on the backing pad and just go to sleep for a while. I think that'd be a lot better. See what Pam would say about that kind of stuff. Did you know you couldn't drive intrastate if you were a teenager in New York? You couldn't get a CDL? I didn't know that. Last state. So they passed a law. You could now Alaska is 19 years old, right, to get a CDL. But New York, you still needed to be 21 until about a week ago. Now you can finally get your CDL if you're 18 years old in New York and drive intrastate. I thought they had all changed over, but no. Now everybody is 18 except Alaska, which is holding out at 19 years old. And they're also holding out for a hero. If the trainer's sleeping while you're driving, you're just being used for extra money. Yeah, you're just meat in the seat. You're just boar's head in the seat, basically. It's sad. And how many of those people then, when you get that kind of training, stay very long? 5%, right? If you can get through that, you got it. I agree, if I was to train, I wouldn't drive, but that's also because I can't be in the back anymore when someone is driving because of past experiences. Oh, I've said that too. Any noise you hear, even if you're teaming with somebody that you know, and as soon as you hear a noise or the truck moves, you think you're dead. Boom, dead. Oh, wait, I'm still alive. I mean, there's no way. There's no way. I tried it a little bit years ago. There's no way I'm teaming. They'll offer it here. They've offered me a couple times when one of the team people goes out. We have one team. And they're like, hey, do you want a team for a week? They're like $2,000. One time I'm like, nope. Do not want to do it. 5 days, $2,000. No, thank you. I said, nope. Because I won't sleep the whole 5 days. Not worth it. Plus, you're gone. And the other guy smokes like, wow. My girlfriend's brother got a job with Prime. Great. But his trainer was an owner-operator, of course. His truck broke down, owner-operator, and made him pay half the hotel room. No. Wait a minute. Now, you know what? Prime, if he's a company driver, Prime should be putting that company driver up in his own hotel room. And the owner-operator, who wants to be independent, can buy his own room. The owner doesn't put the driver up. He doesn't work for that driver. He works for Prime. So no way, Jose. How about that? That guy needs to go to Prime and say, no, you owe me this hotel, all the money I spent back immediately. And if not, I'd go down and I'd go to complain to the state. Because he doesn't work for that owner-operator. What a scam. What a way for Prime to get out of paying that. So what you're saying, every time I got caught sleeping on the job, I should have said I'm a trainer. I'm a trainer for Prime. Now it's acceptable. Steel Horse, some companies don't allow training that involves team driving. Hours of service must match driver and the trainer. A better company, right, will have the trainer up when the trainee is driving so that they can actually learn something. I just don't understand. I really don't understand the point of it. I get that they're trying to make extra money, but when the trainee goes out and gets their own truck, they're not going to have had much training because the trainer's sleeping. So they're more likely to get into an accident or be frustrated and quit. It doesn't solve the company's problem of needing a driver and having that driver, So long term, they're not thinking long term. Like if we can train this person properly, they might stay longer and they'll be a good driver here and everything. So I just don't get it. Traveling rider, I think under 21 is too young for a CDL. Well, you can get a CDL and go drive a dump truck or whatever, or you can drive in-state. I mean, what if you're in Rhode Island? You drive in-state, you only get 9 miles a day. That's across the entire state. But you could do a lot of stuff with it, and you could have some experience by the time you're 21. You know what I'm saying? So, possible. I was just surprised that there was a state where you couldn't do it. I always thought you could, and just most people didn't. GP Transco's here. Good afternoon. Shoveling out up there? Not yet. A couple more weeks. Chicken All, I was glad to hear a woman finally contributed to the reason we are not on Mars. It was about time. I was able to find some woman, and that was a current story, too. I'm like, wow. Who does that? If you're getting medical care, for people that don't know, right, I have a podcast Tuesday, Friday. And so if you're getting medical care on a kitchen table, you may want to rethink your life choices. That's what I'm going to say. Check out the podcast for that. Midlife trucker Tom Bell, was there a video where the trainee's losing it on snow and screams for the trainer to hold on? Oh my God. Hang on, we're going in. Where's that video? What company was that? Traveling Rider, I tried team after the wreck with somebody I'm real good friends with, and even then it's a no-go. It's just too nerve-wracking for me. You don't know what's happening. It's just too nerve-wracking. And you really, unless you're getting a lot of miles, you don't really get that much more money. You have to be doing 6,000 really plus miles a week to really make any extra money. So I'm not a huge fan of it. Maybe if you're husband and wife and both checks go together, or, where you're two together anymore, right? 2021 or whatever. So 2 checks go in the same account, then I could see it, I guess, because you can make, good money, 300 grand maybe at a really good place between the two of you. 18-year-olds make the best trainers because they know everything. Yeah, that's already true, right? Well, you could be 21, though, with 3 years of driving experience, especially if you're in a big state. New York's pretty far across there, so. When I hear some of these stories, I can't believe how good I have it, Kevin. Right. Look, and there aren't that many. The problem is the larger, like 10 or 15 companies employ, like half the drivers in the country, really. Most companies are small, really small. Under 100 trucks is almost every company in the country. But these large companies employ everybody, and that's the problem. If we could get rid of the largest, say, 10 companies in the country, I think we'd have it made. Kelly Patterson, I agree. A lot of these accidents that you see by inexperienced drivers are probably due to lack of good training. I think so. It doesn't do the company any good, especially right now. So say you're training somebody and they're getting out of the truck here in the next few weeks and going to get their own truck and go into wintertime, and they haven't really hardly even had any training. I don't know if that's a great plan. Why would an owner-operator be a trainer anyway? I thought prime owner-operators got paid well. Oh, because all those extra miles are for you. Your payment is the same at Prime, just like most places when you lease a truck. So if you can double your miles, wow, you can make a lot of extra money for yourself. And the trainee who's an employee of Prime gets paid by Prime. So yeah, not a bad deal for you as an owner-operator, really. Although the trainee as an employee needs to have Prime pay the motel room. If the trainee gets in an accident, trainer's name also appears on the ticket. Does the trainer also get points on his license? I wish. I think the trainer should get the tickets, the points. I hope so, but I'm not sure about that. I don't know about that. I got trained at Stevens Transport in 2014. It was good, but I left after. Why did you leave? Let's see. So we ask you that. So if you think it was good or whatever, and the training might have been good, why would you leave the place? Why did you leave? And at these places, it's a crapshoot. At a lot of these lower-end places, basically. You might get a trainer that's been driving to 25 years and is great at it. And you might get a trainer that's been driving 25 days. You just never know until you get there. I wish some place would sell boar's head wieners on their rollers today. Mr. Somewhere. Boy, that'd be good to class. But then they start getting too pricey. We can't price ourselves out of the market here. Drivers can't come in and throw down $8 on a wiener, Didn't think of it, but it could be useful for learning. But still, I've seen some crazy drivers under 21. Well, there's crazy drivers over 21 too, right? Most of these big, long-nosed trucks that pass me in the middle of the night, pulling Amazon trailers are probably not, young people. Hey, Mark, are you on Rumble? I'd like to stream on Rumble. What the heck is a Rumble? I'm not a Gen Z. Donkey Bite. What is Rumble? I was home for Thanksgiving and did 3,000 miles last week. That's pretty good on a 3-day week. Wow, no, that is great, though. Thanksgiving home and 3,000 miles, that's the way to do it. And a paid holiday there, right? I think so, right? I started with Swift in 2004. I got lucky, got a good trainer. He was driving or staying in the passenger seat, so he wanted to train. So perfect. And that's the thing about places like Swift and that. You can get a great trainer, and then, or you can go maybe to Prime and you get somebody that immediately sleeps. And the next person, their same place, Prime, may be the greatest trainer ever. It's such a crapshoot, and the companies don't really hold the trainers to any kind of, standard at all. A midlife trucker, Prime trainees make $900 a week. It doesn't matter how many miles driven. Sweet. All right, but okay, that's fair. And if you're a trainee, though, as a company employee, and you can't go anywhere, Prime needs to buy the motel room for you. That's what I think. Prime needs to buy the motel room for you. 25 cents in 2014. Okay, that's fair enough. I would consider that pretty low in 2014. Wow. That's early 90s pay. Rumble is a new alternative to YouTube. Really? An alternative to YouTube. I'll have to look it up. I never heard of it. How do you do? What's the benefit to Rumble as opposed to, say, YouTube or some other platform that I got to get on? Probably the Canadian Trucking Association is doing videos on there then, because they want to get Gen Zs and millennials with their David Cassidy posters and stuff. Yeah, Steel Horse. Okay, so right, 3,000 miles and a paid holiday. Very nice. That's more like it. I mean, that's more like it. Traveling writer, my trainer at Swift was great, treating me like a teammate, but only after a few weeks of driving with him in the passenger seat, he wouldn't drive unless I was up. Why is that? He won't. Hey, why don't you sit up here with me? Usually the trainer's okay with you sleeping, so I don't know why that is. That's all right, I guess. Especially if you're getting a flat rate of pay, then I guess it's all right. Prime is crap. They do a lot of this team training there to get this, and if they're doing this with owner-operators, I don't know how they're getting away with this kind of stuff. Somebody needs to be on the phone with them and say, hey, I'm an employee of yours. You know, and the guy calls Prime and says, hey, so you need to bring me in a motel. No censorship. Well, all right, so you can say basically whatever you want. You can almost say what you want here, sort of. Sort of. A little bit, maybe not exactly. When it's an owner-operator trainee, they pay all the trainees' expenses. Trainer, they pay, yeah, right, certainly. Well, you're a company driver, right? The trainee there in that situation would be a company driver. Even though they send him out with an owner-operator, you're still an employee of Prime. So Prime should be throwing up a room for him, and the owner-operator's just too bad because he's an owner-operator. So he gets to say, hey, you know what, I'm an owner-operator, so I get to be independent. Right? That's the way I would do it anyways. Do we have an alternative to IFTA? That'd be nice. What if there was a center-free IFTA? And by the way, those stickers should be coming out pretty soon too. Be sure to get yours and put it on when it's warm. Don't stick the thing on when it's 20 below zero. Because of my issues, it was right after I finished recovering from the wreck. Oh, all right. Well, still look fair. Either way, fair on that. I still think this place now needs to get you into something that's going to drive down the road for more than 5 minutes. Trainee's a Prime employee, but working for the trainer. Right. Okay. So, but if you're a Prime employee, you work for Prime. They're assigning you to go with the trainer. That's how I would see it for the motel. So if they want to bill Prime, if Prime wants to bill the owner operator and say, well, because this driver's with you, you need to put him up or whatever, that's one thing. But to have the trainee pay that as an employee, no. I would expect my employer to pay for motels at any company as a company driver, which they do here if you ever get one. And that's most companies. If you're out somewhere, you can get a motel paid for by the company. And I think it should be the same there. Yeah, let's see what color the new IFTA is. Well, you can tell what they've been by looking at some Columbia pulling an Amazon trailer that's got 17 IFTA stickers on it. Or, all lined up all the way down the sleeper. Remember, folks, legally, you cannot put the sticker on a piece of the equipment that is easily removable or detachable. So keep that in mind. Although I don't know how many tickets are written for that. I've seen them on the window, though. The side window, you cannot put them on the glass or anything like that. You can't put them on the fairing legally. It's because it's easily removable. It should be on a non-removable part of the truck. We have a little plate that they put there. They install like a plate that holds a couple stickers. So, and it sticks on that plate, kind of an IFTA plate that's stuck right on the truck. But don't put it on the glass. Don't put it on the windshield. Don't put it on anything like that. It's Gracie, an owner-operator at Mark's Transport. Yeah, she doesn't get a lot of miles, Bobby, I'll tell you that. Donkey Bite, gents aren't on Rumble. It just diversifies your presence on the web. Also has much less onerous policies over Google. All right, I just never heard of Rumble. It must not be that big. Did it just come out or something? Yeah, I agree. The ad says newer equipment, but newer is extremely objective. Right. Whenever they say newer, what does that mean? Everybody has a different idea in their mind. Newer equipment, nothing older than 1986. That doesn't, and just because it's newer doesn't mean they don't break down. I mean, the real problem is your truck is breaking down. I think that's the actual problem, not that what year the equipment is or whatever. That doesn't bother me as much. Gracie sleeps too much. After she's good after 18 hours of sleep a day. She's pretty good after all that. Is the IFTA plate removable? No, it's attached to the truck. They have pop rivets where the thing is popped into the truck. So, that little stainless steel plate or whether they pop rivet on the side of the truck. And then after a couple years, they scrape the plates off, the IFTAs off. You're not really supposed to have the old IFTAs either, I don't think, if I remember that. Although I do see the Amazon trucks especially, they have them lined up there. Like, wow, all the colors of the rainbow, are on the side of these trucks. Oh, you got yours already? It's blue? Wow. Oh, we won't get them. Usually I get them in February, March. Because we get a letter in January, though. We have an exemption, to get them later or whatever. So, yeah, we don't get them for quite a long time. I don't know why. I don't know if it saves them money to buy them later. So the Nazis are in full force. Some will go back to 1939 Germany. I don't know about that. Rumble is some ways it's a better app. I could have other apps open and still hear the stream. Oh, right. Google doesn't let you do that. YouTube, unless you upgrade to Prime or whatever. Hey, you want to continue watching this? Yeah. It's an 18 with 400,000 miles on it. All right, well, that's pretty good. We got day cabs with those kind of miles on them. So, yeah, still, even if it ran good, it'd be okay. But since it's breaking down, that's why they need to get you out of it. Roller Wieners out in Port of Oakland. They're probably falling off the ships and floating around. There's probably a bunch of them floating around out there. And I guess they've been cutting down on the number of ships. The president is going to meet with major corporation CEOs today. I don't know what time. It didn't say. Walmart, CVS, all these other large Target. And that's going to solve all the logistics problems. And then he's going to speak. He's going to say a few words about it later today. That's what they said. So he's not going to meet with any small business owners or anything, because what we're trying to do is just keep large businesses in business while we close everybody else. So that's a pretty good idea. Rumble and Odyssey are rising platforms, but time will tell if they stay around. Yeah, kind of like Betamax. Keep all your IFTA stickers on the truck. You know when it's time to buy a new one. Yeah, once you've covered your entire sleeper with IFTA stickers, like wallpaper, it may be time to buy another truck. IFTA stickers are like Skittles lined up. I guess I'd rather they line them up than put them over the top of each other, kind of like your license plate. We haven't changed plates in Indiana for so many years. I don't know how many stickers are on, because you put your little year over the year before that year. And I got 6 or 7 years on this plate. It's been on there forever, the same plate. Those IFTA stickers are there to help hold those old trucks together, Chris. Yeah, maybe they should use them on some of the bumpers and other pieces that are falling off. They should maybe put half on the sleeper and half on the little fairing thing that's all broken up back there. Good afternoon, Mark. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. It's 71 in Tampa. Nice, Tampa. James Morrow, where do you work? So, Tampa. 71 in Tampa. So, that's horrible. So, like on Rumble and here, I try to keep the name of the company out of it so that I can say what I want on the videos. And not because of YouTube, but I don't want to be told what to say by the company. So I think that works out better. I recommend that to people, really. Unless you're going to recruit for your company, which I don't do here, I just leave them out of it. I think that works out better. Traveling rider, the first day I was put into it, I heard the power steering grinding and said, nope, I'm not grinding. Need another truck. And after a day and a half, they go, hey, don't worry. Don't you worry about it. Ultimately, the safety of the truck is the driver's determination. So I wish I could get that DOT officer back over at Fleet Nav Systems to come back on, because it's an interesting thing. So once you give the company notification that there's a problem, they have to either fix it or sign off that it's safe or whatever. So say they do sign off, like in that case, they go, it's fine, and you still refuse to drive it. That'd be an interesting case to take. Who determines that then? They go, well, look, we've had an authorized mechanic look at this, and they say there's nothing wrong with it. So then, and the driver still refuses to drive it. Now, that's an interesting thing. I'm old enough to remember getting new license plates every year. Oh, they used to change them all the time, right? They'd change the color, and you'd get a new one. You'd put the new plates on the car, yeah. And then we started going every couple years. And then they went to plastic plates, which is what we have here. The plate in Indiana is plastic. We only do a rear plate like a normal state. And it's been many years now. I thought they would change it. And ironically, there is a new there is a new plate because one car has the new one, which they gave me a couple years ago. They just send it to you. And the other one, they just send a new sticker for it. So I don't know how they determine when you get the plate or whatever. So I have no idea. I just get the whatever random number they give me. What happened in 2008? Why did a lot of trucking companies go under? What happened that? Well, there was a big recession that year, 2008, 2009. Right there was a little bit of a recession in the country, so that was not great for everybody. Stupid people in their IFTA stickers. It's like a tag on the plate. You're not supposed to have more than with the current year, but some people want to look really, really cool. Kevin, it's not cool to show 14 stickers on your truck. That just means you're driving an old raggedy truck around. I don't think that makes you cool. What you're saying basically, look how long I can keep my truck on the road before I get arrested. Or it completely falls apart. Mark, do you ever plan on bringing back Crap Company of the Week? I'm trying to think of something like Crap Ad of the Week. We might start doing that. Texas Danger. I saw a place the other day advertising 45 cents a mile. So that's pretty good in their ad. So we might do it that way. I actually thought about that the other day. To me, it's equivalent to too many lights. Plus, I think the DOT, they're going to try and scan. And don't the colors repeat eventually? There's only so many colors. They're not going to do like, azure and then like a light blue and dark. I mean, there's only so many colors. So I think that's why they don't want 50 million stickers on your truck. I want to do videos on trucking, but I want to learn more about things before I do it. Traveling Rider. Hey, don't worry about it. There are people out here that do videos about trucking that don't even drive. Look at the ATA. They put stuff out all the time. So you're doing way better than them. They just had a panel of experts. 4 people did a talk about how to get and retain women in trucking. None of them drive. And 3 of them were men. That's awesome. So I thought, wow, and they were listed as a panel of experts. So that's pretty good. Hey, you 3 dudes that don't drive, how do we keep women in trucking anyways? Well, they're like, well, let me tell you. That was pretty good. Cheeseman has figured out driver recruiting. We got our referral bonuses over the year. The recruited drivers at the company, Midlife Trucker. How do you keep, I've always wondered about that. So you get your recruiting bonus over a year. What can you do to keep the driver there? I guess that encourages you to stay in touch with the people and keep them at the company, I guess, to help them out or whatever. Maybe that does work. Not Joan Harper. Too late. Ha ha. What was the worry? Oh, what me worry? Right. Those were good. That's when you got played every year. So close, though. Traveling Rider, but keep the names out is hard when the companies are poopy, so best to keep quiet for now. Yeah, it is sometimes, right? You can still report on things without, directly reporting on them. Your issue, though, make them give you another truck, like immediately. Be on the phone with them. It's just me or these after Thanksgiving drivers extra terrible. Always the Wednesday before that and yesterday really should have been the worst drivers on the road. They're out there with their RVs and stuff. They never drive. Those are the worst days. That's hilariously true. Yeah, KC Logistics again turned me down to hire me. Really? They have ads all the time. So I would at least ask them why. What's the problem? Seems like you otherwise qualify, right? The red IFTA stickers from Ohio and Indiana faded from red to yellow this year and had to be replaced. We had a couple come off because, again, sometimes they'll give them to drivers. I don't know why they do that. And the drivers are like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll hold this until the coldest day in January and then go stick it on the truck while the truck's sitting outside. And then they go flying off, and then the company has to go figure out how to get another IFTA sticker. So they basically stop doing that now, and you have to take the truck and they heat it up with a torch. They heat that little panel up and then stick it on there if it's cold out. I try to have them do it when it's in the shop for service or something. They'll leave it in the building for a while. Unsolved Trucking Mysteries needs to be on TV. Are there that many of those? The mystery of why PAM has more people that work at the courthouse than actually work at their business center. That would be one question I'd want answered from PAM. That'd be really good. Oh, did you see this driver too? So he's leaving Laredo, and he goes and heads north, and he gets stopped at the checkpoint. Yes. And what does he have in his truck? People. Yes. And he says to them, I thought I had potato chips in the truck. Some guy approached me at a truck stop and offered me $350 to haul a reefer to San Antonio. Now, I looked it up. It's 155 miles. So that's less than the average van rate going up there. And he said it's a load of potato chips. I didn't check the truck or anything, and so I was just going up there. Yeah, do we believe this? And if look, you especially in Laredo, you may want to check your equipment before you accept money to haul a load. And when some guy walks up to you at a truck stop, did you hear about Landstar getting sued again? No, what are they getting sued for now? What's Landstar's problem? They do get sued occasionally, not as much as other places. Hector works for Ruan. All right. Whenever I trained someone, I worked there many years ago for 3M. Whenever I train somebody, the company puts us in a motel every night in separate rooms. $50 daily per diem for food for both of us, and I get $100 daily on top of my pay. Well, there you go. Imagine that. I bet you're a better trainer that way, too. You're both rested, right? You both get a motel. I think that's pretty good. I wouldn't mind, that since there's 2 beds in the truck, that's okay. I think this is a great way to do it. You're rested. You're going to be great at it. Look how much different that is than other places. And let me ask you, since you're on there, will Ruan take students? And since they do a lot of logistics, is that different everywhere for them? Do you hear about the Massachusetts going after trucking companies and she was headed to a meeting? I missed that. For sales tax on trucks and trailers? No, that I didn't hear about. Are people not paying their sales tax there? We can't have that. How will the government get things done? I did hear the recruiter. But the recruiter gave me a name and number. I called and she was headed to a meeting. Sorry, I'm going to a meeting. I probably wouldn't work there now because they're so iffy about it. I'd just be curious about what their problem is. What's their deal? What's your deal, dudes? That's what kids say today. See, the CTA can use that, Canadian Trucking. Who tells RVers to drive with high beams 24/7? A lot of you people in RVs are pulling some kind of RV with a tongue weight of like 1,000 pounds in their, Chevy Love. And so that's the problem. So their headlights are pointed all over the place. That's the deal. People don't realize, tongue weights and everything, and all that. And they never buy the truck. And I have this problem selling cars at the Dodge dealer. I'd ask people what they're pulling, and I tell, well, you need a 2,500. You're just trying to make money. Well, no, not I am, but you really need a 2,500. Here's the specs. Oh, I don't need any of that. So people they don't have the correct vehicle for what they're towing. I do see a lot of that. Traveling rider, on my way up here, I can attest to that. Saw several trucks swerving dangerously onto the shoulders. What are they doing about that? My own company started you experienced or new driver, 44 to 45 cents, loaded with 30 cents empty. Wow. Who's doing 30 cents empty? I rarely see companies splitting pay like that, where it's empty is split off into a separate amount. It should be the same amount everywhere. 39 cents empty. Even so, it should be whatever you're getting. It's not like it's different driving. I still need the same license. I should get the same pay. If that was recently, I saw it on the way up here. The truck, load of weed or illegals. Well, yeah. I mean, what do you think? Let me ask owner-operators, I guess. Do you sit at truck stops often? I know a lot of you get asked about scales. Do people just approach you and say, hey, would you take a trailer somewhere? Here's some cash. Does that happen a lot? I don't know, because I don't own a truck. So maybe this how owner-operators find freight. I don't know. Don't have to pay for load boards? No idea. You just line up. Is that where I see bobtails lined up? They're waiting for somebody to walk up to them with money and say, can you take this trailer somewhere? He didn't look in the trailer even. Do you not look in a trailer? Does everybody not look in a trailer? I look in my trailer every day. Do people not look in the back of the trailer? He goes, I just picked it up and left. We had a couple of mid-rise trucks that had stowaways get above the cab in Laredo, midlife trucker. Yeah, they look up there. the dog, and they look around up there. That's one thing. But did anyone approach anyone in Laredo from your company and say, hey, here's a few $100. Would you haul a trailer? I mean, I just don't get it. Oversized load killed a four-wheeler somehow. Where'd that? Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. That accident. So Landstar is being sued, of course. But, an oversized load went across a bridge, and it was some kind of ship propeller, if I remember. I mean, it was really wide. It was as wide as the bridge in Texas. And the spotter car, we had one in the front and one in the back, not doing their job, in my opinion. They should have blocked that bridge off, and the truck doesn't cross until they stop traffic on the other side. And part of the lawsuit was they didn't call the police or anything like they were supposed to and get roads closed for them because he needs the whole bridge. And I guess he tried to run somebody off the road, according to the thing, but they got around that first truck, the first spotter people, escort vehicle, and went across that bridge and caught the edge of the propeller and killed a lady. She's 75 years old. And so, yeah, everybody's being sued, and rightly so. Rightly so for that. This because they're trying to cut corners. And this is not a Landstar problem like they commented about. They said, look, this is the escort car problem, which is how the lawsuit is going too. But yeah, if that's what you're talking about, right. Any thoughts about this? Drivers being rejected from employment by a carrier for safety reasons and leaving a 1-star review. I bet that happens a lot. You can't do anything now without getting 100 1-star reviews. So that's the downside to the internet. That's true. I'm sure that happens. I don't recommend it to drivers because that, other people can find that too. But yeah, I never thought about that, but that's probably true. The problem is you reject a driver and he's got 100 friends and they all leave a 1-star review or something like that. I mean, that's the problem with these review sites. They're almost not even worth looking at anymore because they're so easy. What if that driver puts out that all his friends and family constantly leave reviews and stuff? That's a real problem. And there's really little you can do about it, I bet, right? Kevin. Scroll down to carriers and look at CDL. California CDL holders only. Nabis. Chevy Love Mikondo. Me can't do the Chevy. Yeah, these people probably have a Chevy Love diesel because they're pulling a trailer. Saw a Schneider truck with 3 people in it in Napoleon, Colorado. I haven't found this anywhere. And when people talked about it before I looked, I can't find information about it. Nobody's done a video about it. I need a picture or something of this. No Schneider drivers talked about it, which, I don't know, maybe they don't let them. Where we have England drivers putting videos out about these trucks, so I don't know. I can't find any legit information other than hearsay. How does Mark stay so up in the language that kids use in his extreme upper 30s? James Murrow. Well, it's just part of being hip. It's part of being with the cool crowd. I roll my cigarettes up in my T-shirt and I snap my fingers and walk away. Shouldn't be allowed since they haven't worked for them. That's the problem, though. How does the place, Yelp or what any of these other places know, Google, know if you work there? See, that's the thing. So that's why, I've said lately, don't look at the reviews as much unless you go back a long period of time overall, not the last 4 reviews or something, because it can be the same. A company can leave their own 5-star reviews. When I see a company that has 20 trucks and they get 10 reviews in one day and they're all 5-star reviews, I'm like, I don't know if that's legitimate or not. I think GP Transco uses the channel to empty their dirty laundry. No, I think they're right. And I think that probably does happen. And the bigger the company, the more it happens. The reviews are not what they used to be. I asked a week ago about training my fiance. I called Swift and they said I could after I worked there a month and they'll pay for her to go to school. They offered 62 cents and 1,000 guaranteed. The 62 to start, not bad. Not bad at Swift, right? See, that Swift has turned themselves around. They just need to get out of their bad reputation. So, not bad. So you can train her yourself. Perfect. Get your month started and tell her to get her bags packed. Does that sound too high for Swift? No, I mean, the companies have to come up to this. Companies can't advertise low rate. People think it's low at these places, but they can't. If they were advertising, 30 cents or 40 cents, you're not going to get anybody to work there. They have to come up. And they'll have even less people than they do. Imagine if it's 62 cents and the 2 of you got 5,000 miles. That's over $3,000 a week just on 5,000 miles. Paul Harris, Massachusetts is attempting to collect taxes on companies that are out of state, such as Swift. Some have sued the state and lost. All you have to do is haul something into Massachusetts. Nice. They should stop hauling things into Massachusetts. And I'm serious. I would tell them, look, we're not going to pick up or deliver anymore, and they should move any terminals that they have. That's the only way to stop this stuff. Mill manager offered me 65 cents to come back to Swift. See, they're up in the 60s then. So they're trying to compete because they have to. The main reason we're here is to hear that on what's on drivers' minds, recent and relevant issues of concerns and industry-wise for GP Transco. I think that is a problem. I don't know how you stop it. I don't think you can. And Lorady, they do just ask, I worked for CFI way back and I had random dudes asking me to do loads for cash. Really? Sultan, really? All right, so maybe it does. Let's say outside of, say, El Paso, Laredo, Brownstown, Brownsburg, whatever that is, Brownsville. Any away from the border does that happen? Or is it just down there? A midlife trucker, the state of Texas must have upset people. They have just a one-star. Dang it. That probably happens too. Salta, thank you, Mark and GP Transco for the television. Oh, well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Traveling writer, how was it? Yeah, just don't turn to the dark side. Never. Somebody's got to stay up on top. Swift will also pay the driver's college and one dependent. Yeah, that college, U.S. Express is in on that. I don't know. I mean, where are you going to go with an online degree? I mean, maybe you could make my podcast because you might have a medical degree. At least that woman should have had that from those that listened to the last podcast. I don't know if that goes anywhere. What you can do with it, who knows? If you want to, I guess it's worth it. I get one finger reviews from California drivers trying to get on the freeway all the time. Why can't people get going? Is there some kind of issue with that? Press the pedal down farther and get going. This hasn't been an all the time issue for me since I started driving. I don't understand why can I get out there? Why can't cars get going? I used to run an Escort back and forth to Indianapolis, and I had an 88.5 Escort. It had 87 horsepower when it was new, and some of them probably were out to pasture. I'd already retired, and so I don't understand it. I'm making 61 cents at Newsbound, but I'm scared to leave to try Swift from all the stories. But Newsbound doesn't team or will let me train my wife. They said if we'd team, she'd be part-time. See, I don't know why they wouldn't let you, but if they don't do teams, then they don't do teams. You may have, if this is something you want to do, you may have to take the chance. Traveling Rider, Swift is a good starter company, in my opinion. They have good opportunities. But it's a big company, so your experience may vary. But I recommend if you have knowledge, just want to get in. See, the thing is, your wife won't have any issues there because you'll be the one training her instead of some yahoo. She may get a great trainer or may get somebody that just stares at her all day. So, I mean, you're way better off if you want to train her. Maybe you could even talk to Newsbound about coming back. But if they don't team, then they don't team. I think that college is a gimmick, Traveling Writer. It is. And how many people are there to, I'm coming here because I want to get a degree. That's just not something I hear from drivers. That's very rare do I get a letter. Mark, I would love to continue driving, but I'm really trying to, work my thesis, my PhD thesis up. I just don't get those kind of things. And plus, you wouldn't make as much money probably. I have a couple of years, but my fiance and I want to team together, and I want to train her. We got to get her foot in the door. It's a great way to do it. Training her yourself is going to be way better than her being leered at and everything else. It's hard enough for women. No matter what these four experts said about women. Well, if women just would be, be more part of the team or whatever. How about we give people bathrooms first? Can we do that? Who wants to sit at 12 hours, much less a dude, much less a woman, 12 hours at a dock without a bathroom? Heck, go in the bushes. The diploma doesn't say online. It says Southern New Hampshire University. Right. Everybody knows Southern New Hampshire University is online, though. It's like getting from a degree from the University of Phoenix. We always know. We know where it's from. Look, it may get something. You may get in the door somewhere or whatever. GP Transco will never go to the 1099 side. Thank you. You had an escort service. Oh, those were the days. Fisher Brown, hey, Mr. Mark, what's going on? Hey, I get 52 cents, but run to 2,200 miles, drop and hook. That's what I like. I'd rather have less per mile and a longer load. If it was going to be a choice between shorter loads and more per mile, I would rather enjoy my day for less money. That's what I do now. Right? I don't work that much here, relative to probably most everybody, and I also don't make as much as almost everybody on here either. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. Newsbound is outstanding carrier. We suggest thinking twice before leaving them. Just our 2 cents. GP Transco. What would you say to somebody like that, though? That is a good question. So, somebody, otherwise, he's going to have to send his fiance wife to train with some, person. It could be a great person or not. Sometimes if the company doesn't offer what you need, you got to go, even though you're at a great place. It's tough because otherwise, where's she going to get trained by who? That's the problem in trucking. I make more money at 25 than all my friends who went to college. Dylan Benson. Exactly. And it should still pay more. I think it should still. I don't think it pays enough for all the time people put in. But it's still more money than you're going to make at college. All these people graduating Purdue over here, every summer, none of them go make any money, really, except like the engineers and that. People with like some business management. What are they going to do? What are they going to go manage a Hardee's in town here? His wife might have other issues with him as a trainer way, maybe. It might not. Look, you got to like each other. Okay, so I had some people write to me, Mark, I don't want to go home for the holiday. I got to spend it with my wife. I'm like, why are you married exactly? Don't you want to spend it with your wife? So, no condiments required for this Roller Wiener Monday. We're going hardcore. Oh, just taking them straight today. TJ Jones in the Bull of the Wood, straight up. With a bucket. I'm thinking about driving again. The PhD in polka history isn't working out for me. Oh, I just was looking on Craigslist, and there was a polka history PhD required ad out. So I'll have to send that to you. 2,200 miles and how much deadhead. I wouldn't care how much deadhead there was because it pays the same. Other than that one place, pretty much everybody here gets paid the same loaded and empty, right? That's not like an unusual thing anymore. Loaded and empty almost always pay the same at every place. So I never cared how long I went empty. Like that LA to Oklahoma City run, which was the best run I ever did empty. You got to go empty. I'm like, okay, I'm going empty. Talk to you in 2 days. If I remember right, it was like I left like on Friday afternoon, and I told them I'd be ready Monday morning because I knew I was going to show up there like Sunday morning, and that's exactly what happened. A couple of years ago, you should make more than 62, but I'm no expert on it. But be open about it with both companies and see what they say. Might not be good advice, but sometimes they can work with you. Maybe. And money isn't totally everything, I don't think. Because if you don't like what you're doing, what is the point? What's the point of getting up if you're going to hate it? I'm attending Purdue and do it online. I do know, Midlife Trucker, that they have some kind of online thing. They advertise it around town all the time. So congratulations for being a Boilermaker. You're officially a Hoosier now. Newspawn treated me well, and I'm home a lot. They've been great, and I have nothing bad to say. I just want to run with my wife. Yeah, so if you need to run with somebody and they won't team, you may have to go. Is Schneider going to 3-bunk trucks now? I wonder if that's a patch you can get. There'll be another patch. 3-bunker, it says. 3-way bunker. A number of people now have said this, but I haven't seen anything about it, and they don't post it anywhere. And nobody's even written a review about it. There's not even one video about it. There's no review. There's nothing. And it would seem like somebody would post a video after they quit or they're mad or whatever like that. And there's to be somebody, but nothing has been said about it. So I don't know if 3 people get out. Maybe they have 2 passengers. I don't know what they're doing. I agree. I enjoy the drive. I like to run sometimes, but I'm not about 3,000 miles a week when I first got started. Right. Sure, years ago. Right, I was all about it. 4,000 miles, I'm in. Right? Oh, yeah, I'll be in LA in 2 days. Right. Not so much anymore. Those miles start getting to you eventually. I saw a mint-condition Ford Fiesta the other day. How much horsepower do they have? Fiesta, it depends what year it is. The newer Fiestas were like 120. These new ones that were like 13 to 18 or whatever. So 120 for that 1.6 in that thing. Way more than my Escort. People have it great today with cars. I remember running a Chevette diesel. It was like 51 horsepower. It's non-turbo. All right, and imagine merging with that thing, okay, and running that thing around in the wintertime. That's rear drive. The car weighs like 2,000 pounds. And people are like, oh my God, I have to have 4-wheel drive. I don't know how I'm going to get around without 300 horsepower. I'm like, oh, please. Please. Purdue employs a lot of chickens. I don't know about that. They do. Oh, I get it. I get it now. Actually, and don't forget, peanut butter and jelly will soon be arriving at Purdue University to live their lives out, the turkeys that were pardoned by the president. It's hard to recruit for Cheeseman right now. Limited hiring map and very few open trucks. Midnight Trucker, that's a good problem to have in the industry. When there's few open trucks, that's a place people should want to go. Places that have like hundreds of open trucks, they have 400 trucks and 200 open trucks. That's not great. Kale Hiring offers $2,100 per week per person for established teams. See, you're an established team. Yeah, once you get some time in, then you can go to a place that does teams only. That's what I think. I was like Quest. They do only teams. If you're going to stay a team, go to a place that does team runs. Coast to coast, long distance, team only runs. What are your thoughts on glider kits? Getting a new truck and getting a Caterpillar put in it. Wow. $372 is the average diesel price today. So that's the thought on a glider kit, which is the biggest expense you have is fuel. You're going to pay all this money in fuel. Maybe even more than you pay yourself. So depending on how many miles you get, I wouldn't want to get a Caterpillar because of the fuel mileage. I'd rather buy DEF for it. On a good day, my day cab would get 10. And this loaner sleeper is not doing bad. High 8s. I think that's pretty good. You're not going to get that out of a cat, probably. And I get along with my old lady. We don't argue or anything. No point in hurting each other's feelings of working through it like an adult. Right. So I think you'll be fine then. There's just some people that you can't spend all day with each other for some reason. I don't know why they're together, really, but I'm not with them. But you're in a truck. It's 48 square feet, maybe for 2 weeks. I would stay at Nussbaum and train your wife and just have her be part-time and maybe become a solo after a year. I would only want to do it if I could train her. You don't want to send her out. It's tough enough for women to be in truck driving. They're trying to get more women. I'm like, that's going to be a tough call. I get 71 cents at UPS and $30 an hour. Till top pay at 90 cents per mile and 40, and after 4 years, $40 an hour. Wow. And there are people that come into PAM and get, have to sue them. Well, this person just sent me a Western Express this week where they are getting their settlement from Western Express for not even paying minimum wage to people. It's such an open thing in industry where if people would just look around, you can get a lot more when you don't have to go to these big places. Ken P. Sorry I'm late. I see Gracie's still working off the tryptophan. She is. Yes, she's on top of the edge of the couch sleeping, seeing what's going on. And if Nussbaum doesn't let you train her, you're going to have no choice but to leave. Empty in a wind and ice storm is not good. I'm constantly light, 20,000 at the most, so winters are always a problem for me especially. Paris, California to the Lucky Ohio Home Depot, drop and hook both ends. That's the way to do it. Drop and hook. I'm in. I wish you could do that round trip every day or, every week. Imagine getting hung up under a bridge with a 3-bunk truck. Talk about a haircut. Yeah, the 3rd bunk in the England trucks is up top. And I always thought, wow, this got to be really nerve-wracking to be up there, although you wouldn't be up there, presumably, when the truck is driving. What are they doing on I-70 downtown? It's always closed. It will be closed until next fall. I-6570 in downtown Indianapolis is closed until next fall of 2022. They're redoing a bunch of interchanges and stuff down there, so it's closed for almost another year. The Fiesta ST has over 200 horsepower. The Fiesta ST in the United States is 195 horsepower, and they are hard to find. It's a 1.6 turbo. Same engine I had in my old Escape, which only had 178 horsepower. They bump it for the Fiesta. It's still okay. We're looking at 6s, mid 6 to 7 seconds to 60, front driver. I'll take it. They get all ragged out. People have ragged them out and put these gigantic mufflers on them and stuff now. Sam, my company sent me 531 miles empty last week from Layton, Utah to Monte Vista, Colorado. Mont Vista. It's nice going through the mountains empty. Oh, you can just get out in the left lane and boogie then. Imagine the sales pitch like being in a tiny space with one stranger. How about 2? A traveling rider. That's the thing. I've never seen England pitch that as like a great thing. Once you're there, you're stuck. So they bus you in from 1,000 miles, 1,500 miles away in a Greyhound. And now you went through the school and you've signed a bunch of papers that said, if I leave, I got to pay you and all that. What are you going to do? That's how they got you. You're basically an indentured servant at that point and have to do what they tell you. The only difference is they don't chain you to the wall when they're not watching you. Schneider truck I saw at a Green Flower trailer from Kokomo, Indiana. Green Flower. I just talked up to my dispatcher here at GP Transcope and I got 66 cents a mile. That's the way to, all right. Hey, how about some raises going on here? Nice. Did you have to go through a metal detector and bulletproof glass this year, dispatcher GP Transco? I don't think you do. The Fiesta was really 78 to 80. Very few options. I bought the Yugo instead of yeah, sure, Yugo. I love Yugos. They had a GVL later. Remember, they had a luxury edition of the Yugo too. Yeah, awesome. Those are Fiats, right, basically. And great cars. The Harley has only 90 horsepower. Yeah. Right, and I looked that up, by the way. Only the 3-wheeled Harleys have reverse. So I thought, I wonder if any Harleys really do. Only the 3-wheelers get reverse. Although, there are a bunch of kits. If you want to put reverse on your Harley, there are a bunch of aftermarkets where you can easily upgrade it to reverse. I just thought, they're kind of heavy, like other motorcycles. It's tough pushing them backwards from a parking spot that might have a slight angle. So some of them need reverse. Like on a Goldwing or whatever, they have reverse on them. Arthur Martin. Hello, Mark. Hey, what's going on? Can I pay a company to do my pre-trip inspection for me? That'd be great. You know, what if there were people to do that? Like they put your chains on for you. There's just trucks that drive around and you can just call them on the CB and they'll come and do a pre-trip. That'd be pretty awesome. Maybe we could put that like on our ComData card. Maybe companies would pay for that. You know what? Let's ask GP Transcos here. What do you think? Would you hire somebody to pre-trip people's trucks for them in the yard? I think that'd be really great. Let's see how that's going to go. I didn't know cats were good motors. I have a couple at home and all they do is sleep and eat. They purr nice. That's what I'm saying. And they're warm in the wintertime. So you can always grab one and they're very warm. Their body temperature is like 102, 103 is their body temperature. How many people in a manhole transport truck? And don't ask and don't tell. As many as fit in there. Literally. Assault and the newsbound driver, think they would let him train her. They just couldn't team together. She would have to be part-time. Yeah. You know, if they can't stay together and they want to be together, sometimes it's just time to move on. And I'd really talk to them and say, no hard feelings, but, you know, you don't have what I need. My friend is a Fiesta ST. It's a fun car, but not my type. Yeah, look, I would like them. It's probably the best way to get a Fiesta because you get a stick shift in it. It's a stick. So, and you finally get some power out of it. Absolutely. They're hard to find. They're hard to find now. I did a video about one, I think a few weeks ago. Maybe a couple months now. But they're very hard to find. You don't see them around. And everybody put those Recaro seats in them, which are like $2,200 option. And so that boosts the price too much. How's Thanksgiving, Dylan? Awesome. Off most of the day. Get home, got up at like noon. So pretty awesome after that. Thank you. Utilize the training time of your wife to figure out if you guys really want a team together. I guess that'll be, you know what? You say, maybe this isn't going to work. Leave her at a truck stop and give her a bus ticket home. Now you can say, look, pretend like we're Prime. Good news, regular car reviews just dropped a review of a 1984 Plymouth Colt GTS Turbo. Oh, wow. I'd love to see that. Colt GTS Turbo. I remember driving, I think it was an Arrow with the twin stick. So that was pretty good. The chaining is in the contract at the back of my tiny letters. Traveling writer, yeah, they say you have to do it and you don't get paid for it. Cheeseman believes in getting us home. They paid me to deadhead from Memphis to Covington, Georgia. That's great. When a company promises you, because variants we get our drivers home, that should just be a thing. If you submit and they agree to get you home, you should be home. I don't think it's that complicated. And a company that gets you home, boy, you're much more likely to stay there, I think. 90 horsepower is 114.87 in Canada, but you can't get any traction in Canada because of all the snow. You have to have your headlights on all the time. I have a 2019 Sportster 1200. We'll definitely trade it in for a Goldwing once my fiance gets rolling. All right. You have reverse. It's a little smoother. I mean, Harley's okay. Too rough, though. It's just too rough. And by the way, Goldwing's made in the United States, so I'm okay with that. That's a new business for entrepreneurs. Yeah, let's get this pre-trip thing going. That's not a bad idea. We want our drivers to be completely comfortable doing pre-trips themselves. We would have someone at the terminal who would do an inspection for the purpose of training. Oh, well, what I'm saying, GP Transco, is like you have people that just do pre-trips for the drivers and they don't have to do it. And maybe they could have somebody do it around the country and they just put on their ComData card. How about that? I mean, drivers would probably like that, especially in the bad weather. I think that's a lot better. There are guys that like Minnesota that do mobile annual and pre-trip inspections. Yeah, except they just drive around and do them every day. Dylan, my wife rode with me for a while. What did you think? A new meaning to be kicked to the curb. Yeah, hey, here's a bus ticket. When she was laid off, when she loved it, she got to see the whole country. It's not bad for a while. That's what made us want to drive together, and she's only making $14 an hour right now, and anyways at a nursing home. Well, look, she's going to be making $100,000 a year with you. What if you got 6,000 miles at 62 cents? That's $3,600 for that week. How about that? How about putting that in your pay every week, minus some tax? So you get $3,000 net a week. I mean, you're going to change your life. Do that for a year. It's life changing. Is it your Ford Escape? That engine that's in the Fiesta ST was in the old Ford Escape, not this one. I had a 15 before this one, and that had a 1.6 turbo. This one I upgraded to the 2-liter turbo for this one. I'm not a fan of the Harley. It's a cool bike, and I can appreciate the nostalgia, but after driving for a living, I just want comfort or speed, and the Sportster's neither. Right. I just think they're more in town. No, I like the way they look in that. But for like a long distance road bike, which would be my thing, I really like the Venture, but they're hard to get anymore. So I'd probably go with some kind of Goldwing. Why don't you buy a F-150? Most trucker bought it, full-size SUV. Well, I don't want an F-150. They're gigantic, and I don't haul anything around. And just the two of us, an Escape is plenty big for what we're doing. I don't need to drive around in a gigantic SUV. I do see people doing it, but I don't need all that room. And I don't mind getting 32, 33 miles a gallon on the highway. That's pretty nice. So I'm in. I'm in for that. Where do I see all these F-150s? They don't haul anything around. My company's out of Idaho, and I live in Colorado. I never have a problem getting home on time and early in some cases. Yeah. So it's more likely to keep you. That's one of the biggest complaints that drivers have. They'll say, oh, I want to be home for my kids, whatever, on this date. And the company's like, okay. And then on that date, you're not home. Oh, sorry. We don't have any freight or whatever that day. That's not right. Get people home. Once you agree to it, the company should do everything it can to get you home on that day, no matter what it has to do. Gold wings are not gold. They aren't? Dang it. I think you can get a gold. Used to be able to get a gold package on it, didn't you? Maybe on the Aspencades. Okay, Mark, I need to look like I'm working now. Thanks for the name drop and have a great week. All right, Kevin, I appreciate it. I haven't seen a Venture anywhere when I went looking. No, they're people don't buy them. I had an 03 Ranger, paid for, reliable, and a stick shift, and love it. Yeah, sure. Look, whatever people drive, it's okay. If you want to go to work in a Yugo, I'm okay with that. I don't see them driving around much. But, for me getting something bigger, F-150, no. Way too big. Or an excursion or whatever, expedition. If I had a bunch of people, when we had the kids at home, I had an E-150. So we went that route, but I don't now. So I don't need all that room. An Escape is plenty big. This one's four-wheel drive, so we're all set. It's unstoppable. Although in the winter, I'll take the Sonic with its winter tires. BMW GS is the best all-around bike I've owned. Yeah, you don't see many BMW bikes on the road either, really, because of the price. Some people don't think of BMW as motorcycle. They all think, oh, I got to get an M3 or whatever. Yeah, ridiculous. BMW M3. Yeah, if you're 18, oh, I got to have a BMW to put on my wall or whatever. I don't think so. Well, if you have a Western Star, by the way, a 17 to 19, they're going to recall it. There's some kind of steering bolt that goes through the wall and also hits an electric wire. So keep that in mind, that it may start on fire at any time or start sparking. So you're going to recall it. Isn't that great? I don't know how many people run Western Stars around. Calling somebody out to do your pre-trip sounds nice. Yeah. But if it's anything like road assist, I would take them 3 hours to get out to your truck. Well, what could happen is if GP Transco would be nice enough, they could have this prearranged. So what you do, that maybe the night before, you have a macro or whatever number, whatever you send in on a PeopleNet or whatever is used there, and you tell them what time, and someone is there to do your pre-trip for you in the morning. That's all I'm just trying to think of nice things, and I think that'd be pretty awesome. And they just do that around the country. Pretty simple. Yeah. The new Kias really look nice, but I don't know anything about them. Yeah, I don't know that much about them either. They look okay. All the lights and stuff are super fancy looking. The Yugo came with a rear window defroster to keep the driver's hands warm while you were pushing it. A friend of mine had one, which I drove once, and it would backfire through the carburetor. I thought, well, this is pretty awesome. And it only had like 18,000 miles on it or something. 4-speed stick. Nice. It did run okay. Drove it every day. I'll get a Japanese bike next time I have 10,000 miles on my bike and I've already had to get a new clutch. That stinks. You can get an automatic in the Goldwing. I don't know if you saw that. It's a dual clutch. So you can go automatic now in these bikes. Not like the old one. They used to have a Honda-matic. This new one is a dual clutch automatic on the bikes. D and R, just like a truck. Yep. I'm in, Michael. So just got off the road. Like for good or just for the day? Because that makes a difference. Oh, the Mid-America Truck Show tickets are available. So look up the Mid-America Truck Show on Google, register, and have them send you some tickets. Even if you aren't going to go or don't think you might go, if you even think you're going to go, it's March 24th to 26th in Louisville. I'll be there at least the 26th if you want to stop by and say hello. I'll just be walking around that day and there. So come out and say hi to me that day. That's a Saturday. So it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 24, 25, 26 in March. Come out and say hello on the 26th. And depending, they don't have the finalized list of who's going to talk there. So if I get to talk there, it'll be there. I'll be there all 3 days. But I'll at least be there on Saturday. Bright side is the Western Star burns bright. It'll look great burn up. You're like, man, that is a nice truck that's on fire over at the edge of the truck stop. I love the automatic trucks, so I like manuals for backing. I like a manual just to shift it around and stuff. I love when I see ads and somebody says 13 speed. I'm like, oh, that's sweet. Although they probably get less calls, or people call and say, can you teach me how to drive it, kind of thing, with the 2 switches on it. But I would like that. I take a manual, though. No problem. We had people complain about it, and they didn't do. None of them quit. I'm going to quit. It was older drivers, like really old, 70. Which I think is old to drive, personally. 75, is getting up there to drive full time. And I'm going to quit. That's not a real truck. They're still there. I'm like, you're still here? Well, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I'm like, right. I'm like, where are you going to go? You're 75. Where are you going to go drive a truck somewhere? I love rice burners. Yes, at least they're smooth. 6-cylinder. I'm mostly only seeing owner-operators have Western Stars, not really any companies. You rarely see it. I did have one. Park Ridge Transport had one years ago, which I used to drive. So I had a Western Star, and that's how I know how great they are. But you don't see companies buying them, unfortunately. You know who does have them now? Sierra England. Of all places. Sierra England has some Western Stars running around. I saw a Western Star truck in New York the other day. Not sure how it got there. Oh, what are you doing over here? Say, what's happening with this Western Star? You see them around. You see them occasionally. And I will tell you, maybe now people are buying them because it's all they can get. At 14.6 months here, whatever I wrote down here, to get a new truck, maybe people are like, look, we'll just take whatever you have, even if it's a Western Star. Didn't you say you used to drive for Baxter Healthcare? I did. Many years ago, I drove for Baxter Healthcare. Is there anywhere stated in the FMCSA book that states you have to assist a DOT officer with an inspection? It depends. Like, what does he want you to do? I mean, I don't know if you have to do anything for him, but I probably would do what he asked me to do. So, what are you thinking? Are they going to have truck parking? There is, but from what I remember, and you can look this up on the website, I think if you come in with a truck, you have to stay all 3 days. I think that's how the truck parking works. You have to show up there Wednesday night, Thursday morning, and stay, and you can't leave until the close of the thing on Saturday, I think. But there is a huge lot. It's a Papa John's lot. It's sponsored, right? Because the Bozo, remember the truck in Bozo? Used to come out there in a golf cart and drive around like a parade. He would wave at people like the Queen. And it was pretty good. The Bozo would ride around the lot there, but I think you have to stay the whole time. I think my 2021 Maxima is 300 horsepower, and I'm getting 30 miles a gallon. Yeah, pretty nice. It's way better than it was. Tons of BMW motorcycles on the Best Coast. Well, finally. You don't see them out here much. The cost is one reason. I live right across from Louisville and Clarksville, Indiana, so I'll definitely be at the truck show. All right, well, I'll see you down there. It's free. As long as you get tickets before March 1st, you go pre-register and get them before March 1st, they don't charge you for them. So that's even better. That's even better. Come on down. It's a great day. Come and bother all the companies. Ask them a bunch of weird questions. Escape 1.5 EcoBoost, not good. Well, look, I've already had my engine replaced, so I hear you. 7,000 miles, I had the entire engine pulled out of there and replaced with a brand new one that came in a big box. He showed it to me. So, yeah, the 2-liter also, same problems. But, you know what? Also good? Warranty. Get an Indian motorcycle, real classic style. Wow. Makes Harley sputter. Western Stars don't die, they just roll away. They wish. Them in England. England's one of the only companies I see running Western Stars around. 18 speed is my favorite. 13 is sweet. 18 is you're just splitting the bottom, and you don't need to do that much. So I think on a regular loaded truck, 13 speed over the road, perfect. 18, you just do it to show off in town. What type of retirement do I have? Just crossing my fingers. Do you have a pension? No. I wish. Any retirement advice? Yeah, try to do your best. Getting a 401k through your employer or through your credit union. I don't have a credit union. So, yeah, contribute to your 401k. Absolutely. But I think your best way to do retirement is to build up an income that will live for you when you are not working. What did Warren Buffett say? Oh, Warren Buffett said you'll never have any money until you figure out how to make money 24 hours a day. Making money while you sleep, I think is what he said. So, and he ought to know. He ought to know. I like the old 8-speed I had when I tried dump trucking. Oh my gosh. How about it like a straight 7-speed or something like that? Yeah, great. Or if I had a 5-speed Mac. Oh my gosh. 5-speed Mac around town, horrible. 4 to 5 was huge. 5th was like overdrive, big time. You went from like 2200, you had to shift this thing really high, and it dropped like 1200 into 5th. And then you're like, well, all right, now I'm rolling. Fisher Brown, old vehicles are better now. Newer cars are not reliable. I don't know. I mean, do you think a new car is more reliable than, say, like a 78 Malibu or something like that? You know, that's my question. I always think we have a better view of older vehicles than they really are. I mean, they're all cool, and I all remember my old cars, but newer ones, I mean, was I getting mid 30 miles a gallon with a heated steering wheel and a nice ride and everything? No. And it's, 0 to 60 times an hour, way down from where they were. That Jeep on my video yesterday, that's 7.6 to 60. That's not great, right now. I don't think that's great. And it only gets like 18 miles a gallon. I don't get the real truck thing. It's a frame on wheels, and as long as it rolls, you can sit in it, and it's a real truck. Right. People always say, well, you need to get a real truck. What's the Escape's not a real truck? I'm like, I'm not doing any trucking with it. I'm just driving myself around. Okay, that's all I'm doing. I thought about buying a new Jeep or Ford, but not home enough to enjoy it. Long live the jalopy and 03 Impala. If you aren't home, especially if you're gone, go buy some junk box and park it at the yard. And so what, even if you got to jump it every few weeks, who cares? That's only for if you're home all the time. Not worth having otherwise. Get something for $300 and go park it at the yard. And hey, if they fire you somewhere, you just leave it there. Not worth going to get. I like the Western Stars. They look classy for a drop nose. I know. I like that England truck. When I saw that, I'm like, I cannot believe it. England is putting people in Western Stars. Western out of Denver has 2 Western Stars, 1 day cab and a sleeper. My old boss drives the day cab. Oh, look, Westerns, they have beautiful trucks over there. I believe they would have Western Stars. They're the kind of place to have them. Yeah. That'd be nice to have a Western Star day cab. Wow. Plus, their trucks on the inside, all gauges and everything. Not like just all plastic where there should be a gauge. I would avoid Jeep or Dodge. My fiance's Dart has been a nightmare. Dart's made by Fiat, for God's sakes. That Dart's got a Fiat engine in it. So, yeah, not sure about the rule, but it's a good idea to assist. All right, try something like this. Go to the Pilot, spend $15 for parking, and $13 for a shower, and $20 to throw in the pre-trip. Maybe even give you a special bundle price. Yeah, it seems like a bigger place like GP Transco could arrange this kind of thing at a discount to themselves. I think that's pretty good. So they're spending $40, $50 a day. That's nothing, right? We'd all appreciate it. We'd have some clean drivers that way. If I ever get a truck, I'll be tough to choose the International or Western Star. Yeah, that'd be a tough choice. I like their designs, but I lean international because I have a good experience. I hate internationals like so much. I've never had a decent one because they don't have any idea how to put the truck together on the inside. Switches are just randomly placed all over the place, and I don't think it's set up good for drivers. I would never buy one. That sounds like a steal. $45 for the bundle. Yeah, they could put a bundle deal on this kind of thing. Get your drivers clean and get them pre-tripped, because nobody wants to do a pre-trip after they took a shower because they're clean. Retirement advice: buy a lottery ticket. Absolutely. Invest any extra money that you were going to put in that lousy 401k right into the lottery. It's going to pay off sometime. That's what I think. Sir, England should invest in RVs, secure all the training students. Why? When they could just sit them in the trucks for free, right? Don't have to pay them anything. Ansel and Penelope Rain Blossom Smith. Good morning. Hey, good morning. It's good to see you. One of the longest names in YouTube. Brian F. It has 80,000 miles and it's been in the shop 6 times. Forget that. Never liked to drive a Mack. Locally, they're great trucks because they're so tough. They're so tough. I remember in the intermodal yard, cruising around, being stupid, not watching what I'm doing. I'm looking for my container. And you can only cross the tracks in there, at least where I was, at certain points. The rest of them were just tracks, and I bounced down into the track and the truck ran fine after that. Oh my gosh, I think I hit the ceiling and the floor a couple times. When I got to the other side of the tracks, I think I was on the floor of the truck. It didn't have a seatbelt. That had been taken out long ago. One time, GP Transco deadheaded me home from Washington, wow, to Roseburg, Oregon for time off and a doctor's appointment. That's pretty good. See, if they agree to the time, no matter what the company, they should get you home. And it's the company's issue if you're not near your house, really. I mean, people need to get home for stuff. That's awesome. So you're more likely to stay. You get late a couple times, and I think drivers really like, hey, you know what? I can go somewhere else. I don't have to tolerate this. I learned on a 10-speed, so when I went to the 8-speed, it threw me for a loop. It's always the problem. When you get in one and then you're shifting, like we'll go to a 10-speed and then I'll get a 9-speed loaner. And I'm like, wait a minute, where's 5th? What happened to 5th? It's just an empty hole. And then you got to look at the top of it, which has been rubbed off. So you got to figure out what the gears are. Didn't old vehicles barely go 100,000 miles? Yeah, I think we have a better view of them than, there's so much room in them. Between the piston and the wall, you put like a pencil down there. They're just not made the way they are today. I'm saving to buy a Lexus IS 350 for cash. All right, fair enough. I'm going to be classing it out there on a Lexus. Martin is one of the companies that does that in reference to your last video. Oh, okay. That does what exactly? Oh, contract. Right, my last video about contracts. Yes. Good afternoon, trucking family. Hope happy holidays to all and be safe. Sheldon Taylor. Companies should not make you sign a contract as an experienced driver. Any costs associated to you being hired is the company's. That's the beauty of being a company driver. I don't have to pay for anything. How do you jump a Tesla? There actually is a 12-volt battery in Teslas, and it runs all the internals of the car, the clock, the radio, the gauge cluster in the panel, the doors, the door poppers, and the pop in the trunk and the frunk. So there actually is a 12-volt battery, and there are plugs in the front. You can open a panel in the front and to jump the 12-volt if it goes dead so you can get inside your car. Yep, so that's a true story. Western has nice equipment, but not so nice pay. I'm here to make money, not look cool. Dylan, that's always the problem. Their pay has been so much lower that when you figure it out at the end of the year, you're basically paying the difference in that and a Cascadia and having that nice truck. You're paying for the truck. And I don't think that's worth it as a company driver. I'll just take whatever truck makes money and is safe for the road. Cascadia, I'm okay with that. I would like a better a better seat, but yeah, it has a Fiat motor in it. Right, that's why it's a problem. Dart, terrible. I just read this the other month, a couple of months ago, they still are selling darts. They sell a few of them a year. There's still new ones around the country. I can imagine the deal you get on them. I think 18 was the last year they made them. I saw Western Star day cab at a smaller company, and they are nice. Yeah, so a small company is going to say, all right, let's buy a few Western Star day cabs to keep our drivers happy. And that kind of thing works. They invest a little bit in the truck. Not bad. I wonder why they call them internationals. I only see them in America. All the old Schneider internationals went to Mexico. If you see them, they're bringing containers across the border. Fiat motors turn into a fart, and then they still aren't any good. Ansel and Penelope Rain Blossom Smith. The Jeep Compass is on the same platform as the 500L and the Dart. You own one of those Fiats, right? That's correct. The Compass is basically also a rebadged Fiat. So, consequently, problems. Although it does smell like mozzarella while you're driving it. Hey everybody, happy Monday. Fleet Nav Systems is here. Hello there. Brandon is here. Hey, checking in from 85-degree Los Angeles. Well, you're horrible too. You people with your warm weather. 40, maybe 40 today. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Yeah, it was doing great here. Give me an older Kenworth T800. I'll drive it everywhere. I'm happy to do it. I had one of those square T800s running flats years ago, right after they came out with those trucks. It looked really cool then because nobody really had one. You may be confusing Volvos with Internationals. Never seen so many buttons in the Volvo I got stuck in. Volvo broke down after 500 miles, but probably got lucky. Well, the thing with the Internationals, which we used to have a bunch of Internationals, and so you'd get in the truck, and the buttons are here, and so then you get in the truck and the next truck, they're in a different order. And I was wondering, who does that? Like, do they just randomly put the buttons in at the International factory? And why are the buttons closer to me that I don't use much? Those things shouldn't. How often do you slide your fifth wheel? Every day? No. That button should be way over off to the side somewhere. The buttons you use all the time should be closer to you. But I got the radio and like heater controls way off in the distance somewhere, and close to you are the buttons. They should think about that. The things you use often should be closer. And this teeny tiny buttons for the headlights with this automatic headlight thing, ridiculous. That kind of stuff is ridiculous. It's like nobody thought about that stuff. Let's see. I really like the Lexus. Lexus, it should run you forever, too. It'd be the last car you have to buy. Don't you think the contracts are for those paying sign-on bonuses? It seems to be random at places, and I'm seeing this for experienced drivers. Are you saying this is so they can get some of their sign-on bonus money back, basically? Because the contract is usually not for sign-on, but they'll say you have to pay your expenses, your plane or bus ticket and motel and physical and all that, which in some states that's illegal. Keep that in mind. Look up your state. Some states, they are not allowed to charge for these things also, so look that stuff up. It depends. Like some states, they can't charge you for a pre-employment physical. It's not allowed. So some of these expenses are not allowed and some are. Depends on the state. I'd file anyways. Along with the trainer, then you can go solo. 2 or 3 weeks. Is truck GPS reliable? I'm not a fan of truck GPS. I wouldn't rely on it 100%. And going with the trainer depends on the company. They usually have you 3-4 weeks. Some of them 8 weeks. It just depends. Some of them longer. And it also depends when they want to put you in a truck. Truck GPS is okay. It will probably help. I still wouldn't depend on it, though. I wouldn't stake my life on it. With anything on an inspection, isn't this incriminating yourself when they will find something right? Well, yes. But anything you find, you should put down and get fixed, is the idea, certainly. If you're a company driver, you don't sign a contract, Michael said. Oh, a lot of these places do have you sign a contract. That's the problem. That's the problem. Even experienced drivers, they're doing that now. Mark, that Mack truck dribble you like a basketball. Oh, my gosh. Run it. Of course, I bounced over these railroad tracks, so I'm driving the cement, and then you're down into the track part. And I was going probably 30 at night. Didn't think anything. Bouncing. I'm flying out of the seat. The truck made it all the way over the tracks. And I thought, oh, my God, I ruined this truck. Oh, it drove fine. Started. It died out. Started up, and I'm like, oh, it still drives fine. So I thought, well, Macs are tough. After I finally got back up in the seat. Don't like the idea of a 4-cylinder in an SUV. Got to be at least 6 cylinders in a vehicle that size? No, not anymore. When they replaced the engine in this Escape, they gave me an Explorer as a loaner car. It had a 4-cylinder in it. It's got a 2.3 4-cylinder, plenty of power in there. 300 horsepower, no problem. No problem. That's what we used to think when I was growing up. We thought, oh my God, they're going to 6 cylinders. Everybody needs an 8-cylinder, because we have these big, gigantic V8, 440 V8s and stuff. And so, 6-cylinder, no way. Lex is just a fancy Toyota. Yeah, it's like a reliable, fancy Toyota that'll always run. Deadheads used to truck out to Buffalo. Like coming in, but I'll watch on the replay. Culturusu Travels. All right, late coming in. Well, thank you for being here. Happy Wiener Monday. Well, all right, hello. 4-cylinder is probably like driving an 86 8-speed R-model Mack loaded up to a hill. I don't think so. In 19, the Escape was the fastest compact SUV on the market. 7 seconds to 60. That's pretty good. For an SUV. It's faster than that Jeep that I did yesterday, which has a 5.7 at 390 horsepower. So not anymore. This isn't the 80s. That's the thing. It's outclassed now. There's other ones faster, but that's pretty good. It goes pretty good. My International, and I'm telling you, when I drove a Chevette diesel around the country and stuff at 50 some horsepower, maybe, with many of them retired, driving cars today is great. My International LT had a twist knob like a car for headlights. Oh, listen, the ones we had buttons. There were little tiny square buttons. They're like a half-inch square. Lights, automatic, parking. It's ridiculous. You can't drive that. Drivers, we stuff all day. We got gigantic fingers. If I come work for you as a company driver, they'll take all the expenses. Absolutely. If I hired a company driver, I would expect to have to pay all the expenses of that driver. That's why I'm hiring them. So I would expect to do that. Hey, Grafton, what's happening? If you'll sign an appointment contract with a company, they let you go, can you sue them for the balance owed to you of your employment contract like sports players? You could, I guess. I don't think you're going to get an employment contract, though. It's always one-sided in their favor. That'd be great. Go in there and present them with a contract. They have to keep you for a year or they have to pay you money. Let's see where that goes. I don't know what they'll say about that. It's awesome how cheap new family car will outrun any old big engine sports car. Oh, yeah, right. People, I had a 80, Camaro or whatever. Yeah, it's like 13 seconds to 60. I mean, that's not that impressive back then. It seemed faster, but not really. Not really. 82 Corvette, my friend had 185 horsepower from the factory. New. All right, that's way less than my 4-cylinder Escape. So the old cars seemed fast, not fast. We have a much better view of them than they actually were. And I would say new cars should be much more reliable. You don't have to worry every day going out there. Well, I got to go adjust my points again. There's no more of that. Then you don't work for a company that has especially an experienced driver signing a contract. If you're inexperienced, you would know better. I know. You would think experienced drivers would know better than to sign a contract. That's the other thing you say. Well, what do you mean I have to sign a contract? I'm an experienced driver. Why would I sign a contract? That'd be my question to a company doing that. I'm trying to figure all these places that do this. We'll have to head out in 10 minutes at 2:15 Eastern. Hit me up with an ad if you have any Geotab or ELD questions, and you can field them. I appreciate that. The new truck wash in our terminal is going to live next Monday. All right. Who's going to be the first? Is that Mercedes going to be the first one through there to see if it works right? That's how I would do it. Let that car go through there first to see if it's working. Maybe send a truck first through and then the car. Square lights are not round. I agree. Old Buick Grand National, 8 V8s for lunch. Back then, yeah, turbo V6. Underrated at 270 horsepower. Been watching a lot of Scotty Kilmer on YouTube. Nice. Love Scotty. Good friend of mine. He doesn't know it yet. My stepmother bought a new Camry V6. It's actually pretty fast. It is. 3.5 V6 from Toyota in there. Very smooth. Nice and fast car. Awesome. One of the last years for that, I think, as cars go down, and made right here in the United States. So tell your stepmother we appreciate her business here in the United States. Those are made here, and it's the best-selling sedan in the United States. Not the best-selling vehicle anymore. Why doesn't Blue Beacon have automatic washes? Seems much cheaper than paying all those employees. Yeah, that's a good question. Why don't they have one side as automatic and one side where you get a hand wash? I think it would probably wash better if you had the people scrub a dub in it than just, how would they do all the brushes because all the different shaped trucks? Maybe that's what they're thinking. I don't know how much those people make in there. They can't make that much money. Scotty Kilmer is clickbait. Is he? I don't know. I watch his videos. I have a 2006 Camry 4-cylinder, plenty of power, 28 miles per gallon. Just broke 100,000. It's just getting broke in, as they would say on that car. Toyotas, does that one still have a timing belt on it? That would have to be changed here pretty soon. I don't know if Camrys did that or not. Otherwise, that thing should run good. It's a little lower on power. We'll put you in the 9-second range to 60 probably. Remember the 80s? Almost every driveway had someone working on their car. Exactly. Well, I'm going to go out this weekend and work on my car. That's what owner-operators do. I see people talking about that all the time. Well, what are you going to do over the holiday? Well, I got to basically rebuild my whole truck so I can go work again. Oh, well, that sounds like a lot of fun. Don't they have shops to do that? Oh, shops is $200 an hour. Well, that sounds great. 3800 is one of the best engines built. They put that in the Grand National. Also in my 03 Impala. Yes, that V6 3800, they ran that thing from the 70s all the way through the end of the GM front drivers, basically, when those ended and they changed everything around to what they're doing now. Absolutely. Went to that 3.6. Very good. And went all the way back to like mid-70s with that engine when they put them in T-types and stuff like that. Oh, those were the days. After being in a semi, the 4-cylinder Camry feels fast. See, it's all relative. It's all relative. When I used to get off work driving a forklift before I drove a semi, I would get in there and turn the turn signal on always, because you'd push the lever forward on the forklift to go forward and pull it back to go backwards. So I'd always get it was on the left side and turn on my right turn signal to drive out of the lot. I thought it was funny anyways when I was doing it. It turned out not to be as funny as I thought really. I don't have a need for a new car. I've got two older ones at the house, a 81 Bronco. Wow. And the other one at the terminal, a 96 Explorer. A nice 81 Bronco. You keep that. That's worth some good money right now. People would love to have that thing. I think you'd have plenty of people asking you to come and buy it. Ohio, by the way, has some new trucks they want you to know about. They bought a bunch of GMC pickup trucks and refitted them to be scale trucks. Isn't that great? They're painted the same as the Ohio State Police and DOT cars. And what these trucks are portable scales for semis. Actually, it could be for anybody. It didn't say who it was for, and I actually wondered, will they weigh everybody pulling their RVs around and everything? Because a lot of people, I think, are overweight. Either way, it's going to be a portable scale, and it's a certified scale. That way, they don't have to take you to a scale. They'll be able to weigh you where they are and write you a ticket right there and get you on your way. Isn't that convenient? So the pickup trucks are certified Ohio scales, and they'll pull you over and weigh you on the spot. And the truck will record everything, and apparently it's certified and it will stand up in court. So congratulations. I don't know what they cost. The pickup truck's already expensive, so I assume the truck is an extra $10,000 or $20,000 with all the scale stuff on it. Fancy. They can pull you over too. It has all the lights on it and everything. As Ohio, right? You're always pulled over with a marked car in Ohio. Michael Swift had a 1957 Willys CJ5 for 20 years. It was an antique when I bought it, and it was still running strong when I sold it. Wow. Now, see, that's the thing. Would you think that is, as great as probably a new car? Probably not. Would you want to drive that across the country? Maybe in some kind of retro rally, but not as a daily driver, I think. You would charge $199.99 an hour to get it fixed. See? Saving money already. The Anime Truckers, good afternoon from Cape Canaveral, Florida. Right. There are 100 trucks here waiting to get loaded. Mostly flatbeds. Really? In Cape Canaveral? What are you loading? What kind of lumber is getting loaded in Cape Canaveral? I'm planning on getting one of those 2022 Mavericks in addition to my Camry and a weekend toy. I ordered it in September. When's it going to be here? And which engine did you get in it? Because I don't know which one they're selling more of. They haven't released anything yet. So I'm curious which one you ordered. You don't see many of the base ones, certainly. I haven't seen one driving yet on the road, and my dealer doesn't have any. I was cruising around in there yesterday. He didn't have any of them yet. He hardly has anything. In fact, there's maybe, 10 or 12 new cars in the whole place. And let me know if you see any of these new cars out there either. Also, what do you think about that? The Canadian Trucking Association too. Would you say trucking is dynamic, provides life-saving services, is green, and gives you a great work-life balance? So that's gonna be their sell point to Gen Z and millennials. Portland, Oregon has those portable scales for quite a while. And trucks, this whole truck is set up as basically a scale. The whole thing is outfitted to be a scale truck. They made a big, Ohio, I guess, I don't know, maybe they've had them, but Ohio made a big deal about them. That, hey, this is going to be like a big deal, and this will keep overweight trucks off the road because they cause accidents, that's what they said, and ruin the roads. So apparently they're out crashing into everything when they're not damaging all the road surfaces. It's all imported lumber, and we're picking it up at the port. Oh, all right. I'll say, why is there so much lumber in Cape Canaveral? Didn't they cut it all down to launch the space shuttle? I got the 2-liter turbo all-wheel drive, and it should be here around February. All right. Let me know how that goes. You'll have the same, it's the same, right, as in Escape underneath. So you have the same engine driveline combo as me, although you get a different 4-wheel drive system because it's a detachable rear. It's front drive unless it needs it, so it should do pretty good on fuel. 8-speed automatic. It's not being green. Oh, no, they say it's the greenest way. One of the greenest fields you can get into. That's what they're saying. Yeah, green. I-70 eastbound near mile marker 68. Steel coils on the side of the road. No truck. Being picked up. Where'd the truck go? Did somebody drive and lose one? That's a ticket. Can you imagine the ticket for that? At least it went off the side of the road, too, and didn't kill anybody. I see these all the time, though. Oh, let's just throw one chain through there. That's probably plenty. Where's it going to go? I've got wedges underneath it. I've got a coil holder down there. I'm sure that will hold it up. If any of you have used those. Piece of metal, 2 pieces of wood on each side. The coil sits down in there. Some trailers are built for it, too. So that was all. Loading coils was always fun to get them secured on the trailer. I still think running a flatbed is the best way to get a good mental workout going on in your head, because you got to figure out, how do I make this thing sit here without it coming off the truck? I don't want to kill anybody when I'm going. Very nerve-wracking getting started at it, believe me. Gas, 321 diesel, 372 average for people that have to pay for it. If you don't have to pay for it, hey, it doesn't matter. It's down a little bit, though. I pulled into a rest here in Pennsylvania when I came back to the DOT man was setting up a scale behind my truck. He was mad when I told him I was empty. Hey, I tell him, I never thought they should do that. If you're in there stopped and stuff, to take a break, can they leave you alone for 5 minutes rather than trying to weigh you all the time and stuff? That kind of stuff aggravates me. I got the XLT luxury package. Oh, fancy. Which heated seats, heated steering wheel, and a remote start. Very fancy. And you'll be able to remote start it through an app. That's the best part of Ford. The best part of waking up, too. the Ford app, which is free. You'll download, and it'll tell you all about your truck. When the oil needs to be changed, how much gas is in it, where it is. You can remote start it, remote unlock the doors, remote honk the horn and turn the lights on. All that fancy stuff will come with it. Isn't it great? You should see the rooster tail going on behind my truck. Why? Because the speed limit is so high out there? Or because of all the dust? Portable scales are just a money grab. No, it's because of all that truck accidents. They're just trying to be safe. That's what they said. I think New York is selling a turbo bong. What's a turbo bong? That sounds like the latest TikTok craze, which I don't know if they allow that or not. The only thing they care about trucking is the vomit. What the heck? Brian FLI, good chatting day. Getting called to a door soon. Happy trails. All right, at least we can get in and get out. Fleet Nav Systems. All right, everybody. Have a great week and stay safe heading out. All right, thanks Fleet Nav Systems for being here. I appreciate it. And saying hello. I hope everything is going good up there. I assume you're getting ready for what's coming, for what is coming for you, which we all know what that is. Turn the sidewalks on. Curious, who would do a shipper or receiver, a quick trailer spotting favor, fast get a place you've never been? Just before 1 or 2 trailers, I used to do it. Who would do a shipper or receiver, a quick trailer spotting favor? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. If they'll say, hey, can you move this trailer, whatever, because they'll remember that. And for me, I usually go to the same places a lot. So absolutely worth it. This is why we need a DOT despite how much crap coils on the side of the road. People pulling hazmat without a license. Fly-by-night pieces of junk. Yeah, I don't know if you all saw that. The other day, there was a hazmat truck that got pulled over. They actually just got pulled over, if this is the same thing we're talking about, for an inspection. The officer opens the doors. They're full of hazmat, 1.4 explosive, placarded on the load, but the truck didn't have placards. The load was not secure. All loads have to be secure. Okay, the load was not secure. The driver didn't have a hazmat endorsement. And he was going across the country with this load. I mean, how many loads are being moved right now like that? It's amazing that they let him get the load. But then I thought back to hazmat and thinking picking up, when I used to pick up hazmat, I don't think anybody ever asked for my license to see if I had the endorsement. So maybe they would just let him pick it up. I got to believe they at least handed him the placards. And maybe he said, I got them already. Because I would do that. If I had the flip signs, I'm like, I don't need them. Was a DOT officer fat shaming the driver with the empty trailer? Hey, look at you. He goes, you need to get on here. He goes, I don't need the trailer to be on here. Terrible. Until someone hacks into the app, wants a ransom to turn your truck back on. I wonder if that would ever happen. Are they going to hack into a Maverick app? What kind of ransom are they going to get from that person? Maybe they could hack into like a King Ranch F-150 or something. Right? I mean, this truck, even with all that stuff on it, is not that expensive. Cheeseman pays $5 for spotted trailers. It's not much, but it beats nothing. Well, here's the question. Would they pay you if you just said, I spotted a trailer at this place? You know, most places wouldn't do it. I don't think they would do it here. But if you said, look, I spotted a couple trailers here, would they throw $10 your way? I probably could not squeeze it out of them. But I would do it because I know later that's going to come back to me for them. DOT officers are paid by the hour. They don't care if you're empty. Oh, that's true, right? What does he care? At least, well, that's better than being on commission. You don't want them to get paid by the pound. That'd be worse. He goes, oh, looks like you're 80,000 over. You go, but I'm empty. Huh? Don't argue with the scale. It's certified, he goes. Hey, Stan Dodge made it to the show. I appreciate it. Getting in as we get out. So I do appreciate that, though. Anytime you can get in, I know people are busy. Not everybody has a regular schedule. So I told Hazmat, and one of my coworkers told me to go through the tunnel anyway. Oh, and just take the placards off. I told him it was nuts. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Just remove the placards. No. The problem, I mean, no way. Just take the placards off. You don't have to worry about that. I will say if you have to go around a tunnel or anything like that, you should get paid the miles the load has to go, not the shortest route or whatever. The actual route, the placarded load, like in Indy, although everybody goes around now. You got to go around town, you should get paid to go around town. Everybody, too. If you're going to route through Indianapolis, don't let them route you through Indianapolis still. That road's going to be closed almost for at least 10 more months. So everybody should should be getting paid to go around Indianapolis, around 465. Don't let them route you through town. Oh, you put the trailer number in the app? All right. Well, so I'm just saying. So they go, can you move this other trailer? It has nothing to do with you, but they just need a hand and you're moving a trailer. Could you just put a trailer number in and they throw you $5? I mean, I just do it. It's not like it's very often because of where I go now, they have spotters, but I've done that kind of stuff before. I'm like, sure, I'll get that. And then let me go get my trailer. So for $5, I wouldn't argue with them about it, but I'm just wondering if you could get the $5 out of it. I moved other people's trailers for shippers and receivers, but I got dispatch approval. Okay, Kelly. See, I figure I'm going to ask for, forgiveness rather than approval because they would say no. I guarantee you they would say no. Take the placards off and became the YouTube star of the day. Yeah, that's true. Hey, I'm removing my placards from my load. That would have been a good YouTube video. DOT wants you to be educated about safety. Did you learn anything? Yeah, exactly. Hey, here's what we learned. Every time we stop to go to the bathroom, we get a problem. Cheeseman gives you 4 cents extra for a hazmat load. So, as they should, companies should pay extra if you run hazmat. They should pay you for your hazmat because you had to go through all that trouble. And so 4 cents, absolutely. That'll easily pay for it. All I'm saying is companies should pay extra if they get extra. They charge extra for this. I wrote down a tariff here. What are they charging for hazmat here on this hazmat load? Oh, $350 a load. Not Cheeseman, another company. $350 on their tariffs for hazmat per load. Have a good week, Mark. Appreciate what you do. Love to see another stream a week. Donkey Bite will appreciate that. The week gets longer as I go on because I never know what time I'm home. The other day I didn't get home until 9 in the morning last week, and so I'm not up till 4 in the afternoon. No, we moved it. Trailers to GPS, so the trucks. I'm saying it's well, I guess if they keep that good to track of it. Here, they're totally incompetent and would have no idea. And if you're moving somebody else's trailer, they wouldn't have the GPS from that trailer. They go, can you move this other trailer for us? It's a Crete trailer or whatever. That kind of thing. It's not your trailer. You don't have anything to do with the trailer. Here, they would never keep track of the GPS. They have no idea where you are half the time as it is. Much less moving around a yard. They would have no idea. Oh, my gosh. And to get $5 out of them, they'd say I shouldn't have moved it. So I know I wouldn't get the $5 anyway, but if it's something the shipper needs, and I could do that, I'm saying, yeah, I'll move your trailer for you, no problem. And then they usually get your load for you. That's how you do it. That's why I do it that way. Just for something later for myself, so that I know that later they're going to give me a little, next time I come in, they're like, hey, this is the guy that moved the trailers. The companies would make drivers self-catheter if they could. It depends on the place. A lot of places are very good about stuff, and then a lot of places are very horrible about it. And it makes you wonder how the bad places stay in business. If they didn't have a steady stream of people, like at PAM coming from Driver Solutions, they'd be closed. Because no driver, after they've been driving any length of time, would go to work there. I don't get questions from experienced drivers. Mark, I've been driving 20 years, and I'm thinking about going to PAM. What do you think about that? And you don't get those questions. People, once they figure it out, they're like, no. These companies would PP on hazmat, exactly. All the stuff, that's all they do. 4 cents here and all that stuff adds up on your check. And you're like, wow, everything I do, I'm moving a trailer, they give me money. I get hazmat, they give me money. Everything I do, they're paying me. Imagine that. And then Pam's like, hey, too bad for you. You got to tell us everything, and we're not paying you for anything, and you can stay in our bunkhouse instead of a regular motel somewhere. That isn't any good. I want to stay at a bunkhouse. What do you say, a load of isopropyl alcohol? No license check of the company sent me there. Yeah, I don't remember ever being checked, though, picking up hazmat. It's not like I picked a lot of them up. I can't ever remember a place looking at my license. They're just giving you the paperwork and the placards. I don't remember anybody actually ever looking at my license to see if I had a hazmat. I caught a load. I knew as soon as I ate the chili dog. Wheels are not the only thing turning now. Yikes. It's almost too early for a chili dog yet. Those are for later, when we know we can lay down for a while. During the early time like this, no chili dogs. Or at least not when you don't have access to a shower, a quick shower facility. And did I see those were $13? I was like, wow, $13 now for a shower? And I saw it's 60 gallons, although I always have plenty of free showers for people that ever see me need a shower. Time to turn on the AC. Oh, you mean time to open the window and let the 30-degree air in? That's how it would work here. We're done with air. Do cars there even have heated seats? And a 35-hour reset gets paid $100. Even that pays. That's very unusual. To get a reset paid, quite unusual. I very rarely see places paying for your resets on the road. They should advertise that more. They probably do. I haven't seen their ads because they don't need that many drivers because everything pays. These companies that don't do this would be surprised at how far a $5 bill goes just to have you move a trailer. That little thing like that, it's the Aldi idea. Same with the cart at Aldi's. For 25 cents, old people will drag a shopping cart through a blizzard to get a quarter. A few dollars here and there, just the smallest things, make a huge difference. It's like, we noticed you're doing this, so here's something for doing it. That's exactly why that stuff works. Oh, hazmat all the time, batteries, and no one checks. Yeah, okay, so they don't check. They just like, oh, well, he's here to get it. It's probably legit. A tube. So that guy could have taken that 1.4 explosives load out of there and nobody checked anything. He's like, boy, this is the greatest. This load pays great. George Wilson, a day or two before Jimmy Hoffa vanished from that restaurant in suburban Detroit, he was seen at a home in Maywood, Illinois, near the west suburb of Chicago. Is that true? That's possible. I thought he was somewhere in Philadelphia. You better open the window. That sleeper's going to fill up with open those back sleeper vents out. Michael Swift, you get checked on your hazmat license? Really? Maybe it's company by company. I had someone ask me if I had hazmat, but they didn't actually see it. Sure, I got it. What is it? What is that again? You go, oh yeah, I have all that stuff. Hazmat, this mat, all those mats I got. I'm telling that. You just sit for 4 hours to get a tire fixed? I did not on Friday, but I sat on Tuesday night to get somebody to come out and fix a tire from a flat that was already on the trailer. Naturally, I pick a trailer up. It's got a flat. It's off the rim. So they got to call and get somebody to come out in the middle of the night. It's the middle of the night. So I'm getting back very late with that trailer. So it's a real problem. $15 shower at Sapp Brothers. Woo. They better have somebody come in and help you with that big brush thing with the big poof ball on the end of it. Midlife Trucker, I've never seen a Cheeseman ad. Yeah, you don't really see their ads. I think I have the only ad for them that anybody has. Really, to be honest with you. That's true. You don't see them running ads. Back in the day, I had a heater core leak. I connected it and ran 4 more years. You could do that down there. Remember, people don't remember, there used to be valves in the semis. You'd turn them off in the summer. We'd turn the heater valve off. You didn't have heat. And when it got colder out, I guess I'll go turn the heater back on. They don't do that anymore. I like Cash's King idea about doing undercover trucker. I do too. I can't figure out how to do it. Would have to be somebody new to the industry. And I think it'd be very difficult to do. You'd be ruining their credit and stuff. You need somebody like Geraldo or somebody that can do it undercover for a news agency that can pay them to do it. But I think it's a great idea. You also get carded for hazmat. It must be place by place. Some places don't care. That's how this guy got out of here with explosives. That's not even placarded. It's not even blocked in there or anything. It's just sitting there. Tell us standouts, hazmat, floor mats. Oh, I got all those mats. Yeah, sure. I got every mat. Matthew Broderick, tell him. The old peacock valve. Right, you just turn it off and you don't have heat. When I go to Aldi, I always wear my snow pants when it's snowing. I make lots of money. As long as you don't do that. People will not give you their cart. All right, you have to fight Edna for it. And she's like, unless you give me a quarter, this cart ain't going nowhere. One of the two of us is getting out of here. She goes, and it ain't you. I'm like, oh, wow. Here's your quarter. You give her 2 dimes a nickel. She goes, I didn't put 2 dimes a nickel in this. I put a quarter in this. Do you think about Hurricane? Other than they have nice trucks. Like really nice trucks. It's a small place. I'm getting on late. Jim Smuckers had me at gunpoint because I asked about the secret ingredients. Oh, you can't do that there. That's like going and getting beans and asking where the dog is. They know better than that. You can't be doing that kind of stuff in there. Can I pet the dog? Uh-oh. All the red lights come on. Red alert. The gates come down over the door. You can't leave now. You just simply can't leave. I do want to thank GP Transco for being here today. I hope that you'll consider sending pre-trip inspection people around the country for the drivers. We'll see. Maybe we can run that up the flagpole there and see what happens. So I do appreciate it, though. Of course, Cheeseman. Why don't you check out Cheeseman? How about that? We could do that, too. Fleet Nav Systems was here today, too, and I appreciate you coming in today. Don't forget to check out Cash is King Trucking, as always. Get your tickets to Mid-America Truck Show as well. I'll have a thing for that coming up soon, I hope. And don't forget to look at Jay. He's the car shipping business channel. I don't know anything about hauling cars. No, I don't. Jay does, though. Talk to Jay about that. But I have to head out to the place or they will yell at me. Some places don't care. Just move the load. The ones that do ask. Yeah, they're getting a load moved and maybe at less money. So think about that. This driver might have underbid this too. And they're like, oh, God, we got somebody to take this hazmat load, this explosives load for $2. And now I don't know if he was an owner-operator. It didn't say. But maybe he's like, I'll do it for $220. Because that load should go for more than the rate, which vans I have here for $292. So that should be $392 to haul hazmat. I think it should be more. The Raider's about to be jammed nice. It's the shipper's responsibility to hang you the placard for the placards and hazmat loads. I don't recall ever being ID'd. Yeah, that's all they ever do. They give you the paperwork in order. I've never really had it out of order. And placards. Here's your placards and have a nice day. And they just have you do it out there. You're like, oh, I guess I'll put these on here. So that's how it has to go. Yeah, we're going to do that. We're rolling them right now. Let's see. Chicken Holler was here first the other day and Joan Harper. Very close, but thanks for being here anyway. I appreciate it. Stan Dodge was here, so it's good to see you. Tommy Cash was here today, but we're going to head out to work as it is. Paul Harris, thank you for coming in. Back to work after 4 days off. Yikes. Longest holiday of the year. Won't get these 4 days off again until next year because I get hosed on Christmas because it's on a Saturday. That stinks. So only get Friday off. Friday, Saturday, but you're already off Saturday. It's Flat Highway, thank you for being here. Colorado B out. Thanks for being here. John Say Black. Why do I have problems with that? I have a lot of problems with that. But it's good to see you. Joe was here today. Stan Dodge. Paladin in the heat. Unfortunately, I can't be there. Kelly Patterson, thank you for being here. In the warmth. Sultan Murray watching the TV. Thanks for coming in. Luke 1234 is here. George Wilson. I'm going to do a video about this tariff probably this week too. I think it's pretty interesting. The charges that this company has. You can compare it to how much they actually pay. Mr. Somewhere was here today. So we're going to do that. Midlife Trucker, Tom Bell, thanks for being here. And for putting that out there. People need to find that out because there's so many better places. If you're just sitting around not getting any money for all this stuff, you can get paid for all these things you're not getting paid for. Just by making a phone call, really. But if you don't make that phone call, you can't do it, right? The Anime Trucker was here. Thank you for being here. Brian FLI was here, but I have to head on out of here today as we're rolling out to see what the company is going to say to me today. Probably nothing, hopefully, as it always is. So that's what we're going to do on that. And I will be back with more videos and probably a more podcast tomorrow. Yeah, Tuesday, Friday podcast. Be sure to download it and listen to Handle on the Law. That's my recommendation for the week. Be safe out there, and we will be back soon with another video.